Hello, 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 hello. Ah, 1 second. Air conditioner kicked on. Don't need you. Turn off. There we go. Yeah. Ah. I'm back. I'm back. What are you doing here? You're garbage. Did you miss me? I have returned and I have coffee because I need coffee. That's where that bit went. I was wondering where this bit went. I'm putting all this stuff away and it's like I'm missing the bit from this and somehow it ended up in this and I don't know how to get it out. He's back. He's back. J. Jonah Jameson, Spider-Man returning GIF. .gif. There we go. There we go. Did you miss me? I missed you guys. Vacation was good, but oh man, 2 weeks is a long time. 2 weeks is a long time when you're a content creator and like you stream. So when you don't stream for 2 weeks, oh, the YouTube does not like that. Oh, the YouTube metrics do not like that. They do not like when you disappear for 2 weeks. They do not. The YouTubes do not like that. Oh, little one loved it. We had a great trip. If you guys want, I could talk about it a little bit. But if you're wondering where I've been for the past 2 weeks, I have been on a family vacation. I've been traveling. We spent a week in the Maritimes, mainly Nova Scotia. So we did the Cabot Trail, we visited the Highlands, we went to the Fortress of Louisbourg, we spent a couple days in the Halifax area, went down to Peggy's Cove, did all that, and then after that we went and visited my wife's family in Quebec, and we spent a week there. I'm not blowing up the camera, I got some sun. Yeah, and also one of my lights died. I came back, I turned on the lights, because I turned everything off. When I left, I turned all the printers off, I turned all the studio lights off, turned the cameras off, everything was off. So maybe my power bill won't be insane for once. But when I came back, I turned the lights on, and one of my, I use these lights, the screw-in LED crappy lights in the garage, just so I have more light out here. And this one was, it was making noise that it shouldn't make. So yeah, so now I just have like a little random light bulb in there, so it's less bright. But also I did get some sun. Like I got sun. Look how bright my the white balance. I did not compensate for the shoulder, for the pale. My eyes. Also, yes, the overlays are off. Let me turn the overlays back on. Let me turn the overlays on because I recorded something with this setup before I left on vacation and I turned off all the overlays. Overlay and desktop overlay. Oh, hey, this is a tease for later. Farmer tan. I know, like my watch. Oh, look at that, look at that. You can see where I was wearing my ring. I normally don't wear my ring at home. I wear it when I go out. It's just a habit I got into when I worked in a tool shop. Degloving, look it up. It's not a pretty thing. So I don't wear my ring at home. I wear it when I go out. So wore it for 2 weeks, got some sun, and now I took it off. So, also, happy to announce I only gained 1.5 pounds during the trip. I was, for those that have been following the saga, I'm doing weight loss right now. In the 2 months before I left for vacation, I was down from 197. The day I left for vacation, I woke up, I was 175.4. This morning I weighed myself because I figured give it a couple days after, we got back Sunday morning. So I'm like, I won't weigh myself for like a day or two just to like let the bloat from the vacation go away. And this morning I was 176.4. So, or 176.6 or something. So, only undid a little bit, which hopefully isn't too bad. So I'm back on it, right back into it, back into the walk. I did a walk this morning. I climbed a mountain. As much of a mountain in Quebec is, but, and by climbed I mean walked it up, but it was 430 meters of elevation rise over 4 kilometers. It was a good hike. It took 1 hour and 15 to get to the top and 45 minutes to get down. So 8 kilometers in 2 hours with 430 meters of rise. And also we stopped for like half an hour at the top and had lunch. What is a pound? A effed up unit of measurement. Actually, isn't pound force? No, kilogram is force, pound is weight, or vice versa. They're actually different units, but we use them in the same way. So what are we doing today? What are we doing today besides me yapping? If you guys want, I do have some pictures of the trip. Obviously, I won't share anything with my family in them. We did find out my son has zero fear of heights because we went mountain climbing. I also saw a Hatsune Miku Zaku, and I really wanted to buy this, but I don't know why. I just really wanted to buy this Hatsune Miku Zaku costume I saw in a store in Quebec. I don't know. I wanted it. I didn't get it, but I wanted it. But no, we had a good time. It was a great time. It was the first like big family trip we've done in years, because the past couple years was like we go visit family in Quebec and then they come and visit us for a week and we just bounce back and forth, and nothing crazy. Like just go visit family and do stuff in the local area. So this was like our first big proper, all three of us, big family trip. Which this will probably be the last time we have like 2 weeks off where we can just go and do something for 2 weeks because of some stuff we're going to talk about later in the channel or later in the stream. But it was nice. It was really nice. It was really nice. Are there any fires around here? Not where I'm at. We don't have trees where I live. The Lorax in my backyard is very sad because there are no trees. So where I'm at, there's no fires, and we don't have smoke here anymore. Where I was at, there was no fires and no smoke. The Maritimes are pretty wet. So yeah. It was pretty good. Back Saturday night from trip to Prusa, freaking airline overbooked the flight and left my bag with gifts from Prusa and for a colleague back in Prague. Well, hopefully you get it. I saw some of the pictures, Chevron. It looks like you had a good time there, so that's good. Prague is a beautiful city. Prague is a beautiful city, and Prusa is a great place to visit, so it's good you got the tour. Did I get a catch up on the Nozzlegate drama? Are you ready for my hot take on the Nozzlegate drama? Until you all figure out what the actual definition standard of a hardened nozzle is, don't bitch. Because there is no such thing as a hardened nozzle, because all nozzles that are harder than brass and steel with a coating or whatever are hardened nozzles. Guess what? You want to see something cool? You want to see something cool? Where is it? I mean, cool. Here's a piece of metal. As I bend it, I hardened it. This is now a hardened ruler. There is no definitional standard for a hardened nozzle. I don't know. People assume did people think the index nozzles were gonna like be able to print like the super abrasive glow in the dark Prusa nozzle killing filament like non-stop? Like, I know the marketing they fucked up on the marketing. I know they fucked up on the marketing. I know they did. I know that marketing line where they say you can print it worry-free, that was a dumb move. That was a marketing F up. But in every conversation I had with them, I'm pretty sure it's in one of the videos that I did with them too, is like, yeah, these nozzles, they're gonna be harder than brass nozzles, and they should be hard enough for your average user, but they're not full on like diamondback nozzles because they have to be steel for the process of the induction heating, so you're limited on what metals you can use, and then they put a coating on them. So they are harder than brass. They are hard enough for the vast majority of users, because the vast majority of 3D printing users, especially those doing dumb landfill multicolor prints that are going to love index, are printing PLA or PETG. They're not printing filled materials, or they're printing very limited amounts of filled materials. So a nozzle that's like 20 to 30 Rockwell versus a brass nozzle which is like 0 to 10, it's still harder than steel. I've printed tons of ABS or CF filaments on just normal steel nozzles without problems. And these are harder, these are plated steel nozzles, so they're a little bit better than that. They're not Diamondbacks, that's for sure. But like, what'd you expect? They're $40 nozzle hot end assemblies. They're not Diamondbacks. So I think people kind of, they effed up the marketing. They effed up the marketing. But if you actually paid attention to what they actually said and not what the marketing, I know this is going obtusely, and I don't disagree with anyone who didn't realize what they were getting into. But if you had been following it, this was said by the people who actually are working on it instead of the marketing. Like, the problem is the marketing led people astray. Those that actually talked about the product were like, we'll talk about it later in the stream, because I wanted to get to this after I talk about, we do the community stream, because I want to start off with the community stuff. But like, in every conversation I had with them, they never went like, yeah, these are unkillable nozzles. They were like, yeah, these are harder than average nozzles. These are above what you would consider, you know, a soft nozzle, but they're not full on, you know, Diamondback level of hardness. There was like, yeah. Has anyone killed one yet? Has anyone posted a picture of one blown out yet? Like, yeah. I don't know. Like, I didn't plan on using the Trident index that I'm building, which, by the way, I don't have the index kit yet. I haven't contacted my index rep in a bit because I figured they're kind of busy right now. So I'm letting them do their thing. But like, I didn't plan to print like 20 pounds of carbon fiber that like glass fill, 25% glass fill through it anytime soon. It source of them saying that, I don't know. In one of the videos I talk with them with, like, let me find it here. Let me find it here. View my channel. Because here's my problem. Full disclosure, I've been to Bondtech. They flew me out to take a tour of their factory last year. They're great folks. I've spoken to them at multiple 3D printing events. So my problem is, because I have talked to these folks on and off camera, and off camera a lot because I went to visit them, I'm pretty sure I brought up the, you know, oh, how hard is it on camera? So I'm trying to find that now. So we're here at Rocky Mountain Restaurant Fest. I got Olaf here from Bondtech, and we're here with... Is there a way to search? Off the shelf machines is Prusa. Because I know people want index. Buy this system as a standalone system and put it on your machine, which obviously we have examples. Can we do a quick shout out to Double Share on the AB mounts? Oh yeah, the Trident R2 we have. Because I know people want, yeah. Back nozzles or something like that. 40. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So let me see. Safe to say plan for around 40. Yeah. Okay. And it is a CHT and it is a hardened nozzle, so it should be fine with the... Yeah, see, so here's the thing. I say hardened. Is a steel-plated nozzle hardened? What can somebody pull out right now? Cite me the actual definition of what a 3D printed to hardened nozzle is. Because you're all like, well, we're basing it off what we all thought hardened nozzles were, which is like 50 to 60 Rockwell, because that's what other people called hardened nozzles. Pull me out I'm quoting the dictionary now. Somebody cite me what the actual hardness requirement for a hardened nozzle is. What is a hardened nozzle? Somebody pull out the actual full-on definition answer for what is a hardened nozzle in 3D printing. Because we don't have one, and that is one of the biggest problems in 3D printing right now. People just shotgun terms from the hip. What is a high-flow nozzle? Can somebody cite me what is the actual lab-tested flow rate of PLA to qualify as a high-flow nozzle, if I want to call my nozzle a high-flow nozzle? Everyone just base it around what kind of already exists, and it's like, you know, Bamboo got in shit because, you know, their thermal runaway kicked in after 3 minutes when everyone else kicked in like 15 to 20 seconds, and they're like, well, it's safe. It's safe. It's just not what the industry standard is, but it's still safe. This is a harder than brass nozzle. It's a steel nozzle with a coating on it. It's been machined, which means it's probably been work hardened a bit. So, I don't know, it's hardened. It's a hard nozzle. Maybe that's what they should have said. They should have said it's a hard nozzle, not a hardened nozzle. It's like my high temp printer, Toasty Boy, isn't a high temp printer. It's just it's a higher temp printer. So yeah, I mean, it can print glass filled and carbon fiber. It just, hey, guess what? All nozzles are consumable. Even the super expensive Diamondbacks will eventually abrade. Just take a long time. So all nozzles are consumable. So it will print that stuff. Just how much of it will it print before performance degrades to the point where you need to replace the nozzle? That is true of all nozzles. It's just a timeline thing. So HRC 60 and max temperature of 500. Okay, but that's just what you would love. I would love to see, I wish all nozzles were 60 Rockwell hard and could do 500 C just fine. Diamondbacks can't because of their, the nozzle tip is in a brass sleeve essentially. So because they're dissimilar metals, they expand at different amounts based on different temperature. They would basically come loose if you overcook them. I know, I've done that. I've been picky about Bamboo's hard. No, Bamboo gets a pass on everything. Bamboo gets a pass on everything because they sell cheap printers and every content creator is sponsored by them. So nobody wants to shit on Bamboo. You notice how like really not many content creators poo-poo Bamboo? I mean, Bamboo doesn't sponsor 3D printing content creators anymore. They've already milked you guys dry. So now they're moving on to other audiences like some other content creators are. Because the 3D printing market is kind of maturing to the point where this kind of content doesn't float anymore. It's all about just selling printers and who's good at selling printers. And so the market is kind of drying up for the hobbyist level kind of thing. Shipping. Welcome to the channel. You can't bitch about shipping because that's out of their control. You're buying a product from Sweden, shipping it across the ocean. Guess what? Doesn't matter what the fucking product is. It's going to be expensive. It is what it is. Shipping everywhere sucks. Hi, Americans, blame your government, tariffs. Hi, everyone else in the world, blame America for increasing the price of oil, and anything that moves on a boat is going to be more expensive now. Welcome to modern times. Hey, guess what? Everything's getting expensive. When, you know, when Bondtech set the initial prices of the index system, I'm sure they didn't foresee all the shit we're going through now that's causing the prices of everything to rise. Anyone buy a computer lately? How RAM price is doing? I know it sucks and it's easy to bitch, oh, the shipping's so much. Well, it is what it is. I'm sure if Bondtech or any other company could ship things for free and not have to deal with customers complaining about shipping, it's out of their hands. It is completely out of their hands. It is what it is. I print glass-filled nylon through a generic steel nozzle, and it works great. Yeah, I printed tons of glass. I didn't buy a hardened nozzle for my 3D printers until like until I was printing for a couple of years. I just used literally Triangle Labs steel nozzles, and they work fine. You just print 10 degrees hotter than you normally do. I never wore one out, and those were like AliExpress tier pots and pans steel nozzles, and they worked fine. So. A Montreal crafter with 2 million followers. Yeah, Pezlas. Every big content creator. Donut, the former guys from Donut, I think it was. They're doing like a car rebuild series where they're like doing a, is it Big Mouth? I can't remember what they're called now. The Bamboo sponsored it. Bamboo is sponsoring the large channels that they can tie 3D printing in because they've already saturated the 3D printing market. Everyone who knows about 3D printing knows about Bamboo. So there's no point in content creators getting, you know, in our little sphere, getting free Bamboos anymore to promote them. They won't, because they've already saturated the already know about 3D printing market. So now they're having to force the market to grow because, hey, capitalism. It is what it is. You live in Sweden? Jumbo, just go drive to them. Just go drive and pick it up yourself. 45 consume. Yeah, dude, I have dropped like I have dropped $100 shipping like 4 extrusions from the US back in the early days of V0. Buying 1515 extrusions from Asumi and shipping them from the US to Canada, you do not want to know how much the frame for my original V0 cost. It was like $300-400 because I had to do multiple orders because we kept changing the design. Yeah, my original V0 frame cost like $300 to $400 Canadian because I was ordering from Asumi direct from the US and having to ship it and deal with customs, and every package was an extra $60 on top of it because hooray for FedEx. So yeah, believe me, I know it sucks when something that isn't that expensive becomes expensive because of the shipping, but that has nothing to do with the company. That is out of their hands. Does printing at a higher temp reduce wear on nozzles? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. That's something one of the German 3D printing content creators. That sounds like a Stefan or a Tom Sandlatter video. One of them can probably answer that. I know I usually tend to overcook my filaments when I'm printing structural stuff because I tend to print it a little bit hotter so I get better layer adhesion. How is our home peninsula still connected? Cape Breton's still an island. Cape Breton's still an island. I mean, if you don't, well, technically the causeway does have a bridge at the very end, so yes, I mean, you could drive a train across it, though. Causeway's still there. Cape Breton's still there. It was cloudy. We went to the Fortress of Louisbourg. It was nice. Halifax was really nice. I love Halifax as a city, although it is getting gentrified to all heck and back. So many crypto boomer kids there, walking their tiny dogs in the morning. Okay, what are we doing today? Okay, so What are we doing today? Welcome to the stream. It has been a hot minute. It has been a hot minute. I have been gone on a family vacation for the past 2 weeks. So what have we done? What have we done while I've been gone? Not much. I haven't printed a damn thing since in like 3 weeks. It's been like, how do these printers are all still off. Like, I turned the power strip off. Here, let me turn the printers back on. Let everything boot back up. Hopefully turning on like 6 printers at once doesn't blow a circuit. We should be fine. Oh, they're all gonna beep at me. Beep, boop. Oh, what is this? What is this part for? Oh, this is a part for the Baba belt. That's a Baba belt part. That was still on the bed. So yeah, I've been gone for 2 weeks. So what are we doing today? We're gonna do the community print stream. Every month, we do a look back at all the cool stuff you guys have been printing on the Discord, okay? So this is the Discord, okay? Every month, we go through all these cool prints to see what you guys have been working on. Let me turn off the overlay on this view. So, if you have not entered anything in this channel yet, you still have time. You still have time, because we're gonna go through this from whenever the last stream was, and we'll just carry on. So every month we do this stream. Yes, I know it's August and we're looking at July stuff. I was on vacation. So we're gonna start off with this, okay? Something fun, something easy. I didn't want to get everything set up. Plus we're gonna be talking about some other stuff later, so the layout's gonna change. So we're gonna do this. After this, the plan was to talk about the nozzle stuff, but we kind of went into that already. My thoughts and opinions are, it sucks. Marketing screwed up. Those that bought in thinking that they were getting like super hardened unobtainium nozzles, yeah, they probably deserve some sort of compensation. But I don't think it's as bad as people think it is. I think, you know, nozzles that are around 30 Rockwell, when people thought they were getting 60, but compared to brass, which is like 10, they're hard enough for the average user. Power users, though, you know, they might want something hard. Giggity. So the plan was to talk about that, but you guys got me talking about it earlier, so maybe we'll talk about something else. I don't know. And then, channel update stuff and layout changes, because there's going to be some changes to the channel maybe in the near future. Some updates about the channel, and we're going to be redoing the layout of the garage because I don't like the shelf there in the middle anymore. I want to be able to park a car in here if I need to. So we're gonna be doing moving some stuff around. So I have a sketch thing. I've been dicking around with sketching. I have it's inside my little hand-drawn map. I have a digital map now. So we got to figure out where a couple things go, like the giant Venture XL. That thing takes up way too much room. It's gonna be fun trying to figure out where that's gonna live. But eventually, the plan is I will be able to move the desk around to different locations for different setups when we're doing different things. End scale. Layout changes. I mean, I have HO scale for the train set for the little guy. We're building a tunnel for it. So yeah, so today's stream is just gonna be kind of a fun hangout stream. Wife's working afternoon, so I have to end the stream in an hour and a half anyways. And Friday we will probably jump back into the MOG, and then Saturday we'll hopefully finish up the Baba belt. Sound good? Am I moving to a new studio? No. I wish. I don't have room. I'm running out of room out here. I'm finding myself more cramped. As you can see, I have piles of boxes from projects and whatnot. TLDR, I'm throwing away a lot of shit. And also, if you live in Southern Ontario, near the Windsor area, and you want to buy a 3D printer that you've seen on this channel that isn't the Prusos or the Vorons, DM me. We'll work something out. I got to get rid of a bunch of printers. I need to clear up some room. So yeah, I wish I had a studio. Not in the budget. Any Twitch streams? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on that I gotta like. We just got back from vacation, so I gotta like fix a bunch of, not fix, but like we spent like the whole day shopping, like a big grocery shopping yesterday, and there's some other stuff I want to do and whatnot. So maybe I'll try and sneak in a Twitch stream. We'll do a fun little Twitch stream or something. I gotta finish the Gundam, so maybe I'll sneak that in. But this week is kind of hectic because my wife's working days or afternoons. Next week, and the next 2 weeks after this week will be much more open. Pantheon is getting dumped. No, Pantheon is moving to the floor. This desk, we'll talk about it later. You guys, I keep telling you what I'm going to talk about, and then you get me talking about it. It's not in the list. We got to go through your prints first. Little guys start school next month. In Ontario, you start school, grade school and high school, and I think university too. Might be a week off. But anyways, the first Tuesday after the Labor Day weekend. So whenever the Labor Day weekend is the first or the second weekend of, whenever the Labor Day weekend is, it's the first Tuesday after that. So usually, I think this year it will be September 8th is when they go back to school. U1 TLDA worth it? Yes. In my opinion, I have the U1 on the ground there. I might do a video comparing the U1 to the Creator 5. TLDR, if you're just buying one of them, or you're a bit more of a power user, the U1 is a better machine, I think. If you do not know as much about 3D printing and you just want to make plastic boat and you want a simpler machine that's easier to set up and has a more closed ecosystem because you're not worried about modifying firmware, you're just going to use the machine as it comes out of the box and you're not going to change anything, Creator 5 can be a good option for some. But you can't go, I don't think you can go wrong with the U1. The only reason to not buy a U1, in my opinion, right now, is if you're a Bamboo boy and you can't comprehend using anything other than what Bamboo tells you what to use, or Snapmaker's about to come out with a U1 Plus or U2 or whatever. Simple as that. So the U1 is amazing. Okay. 1 second, I got a DM. Let me check my DM here. Be available Thursday. What is this? Thursday, August 6th. Easter. Liz, I'm probably down for that on probably the Thursday. Thursday, maybe even the Monday. We'll see. I'm down though. I'm down. Okay, let's do this stream. So if you have not yet, let's do this thing. Couple things first. Homework. Hi, like and smash the I go away for 2 weeks, I forget how to do YouTube. Like the smash button, ring the bell, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and scroll down. Every stream, we give away a spool of Polymaker filament. There is a link in the description below for entering for your chance to win a spool of Polymaker filament. Enter. Make sure you like the smash button while you're down there. Make sure you subscribe while you're down there. Make sure you leave a comment if you're watching this in the future. What did you have for breakfast? I want to know. And enter for your chance to win a spool of Polymaker filament. We'll be doing the giveaway for that draw at the end of stream today. And then also, while you're down there, there are some affiliate links. If you want to go shopping, somebody in the chat's asking for an affiliate link for the U1. I do have one, but it's not in this stream. Go find one of my live streams where we unbox the U1. There should be an affiliate link in there. Or, yeah, one of the live streams where I unbox the U1, I have the affiliate link in there with Snapmaker. So if you want to buy a Snapmaker and help support the channel, check out those. I am going to try and finally get off my butt and actually make a proper website with all my affiliate links. I just don't like having all of them in every YouTube video. I only put like the generic ones and then specific ones in certain videos. So the affiliate link for the U1 is in there. So one of the good ways to help support the channel, consider becoming a channel member, a Patreon supporter, or if you are really cool, gifting memberships to others. Being a channel member or gifting memberships to others is the best way to support the channel. Your continued support allows things to keep going the way they're going. Things change over the years, numbers flow, but those that help support the channel, they're the real ones that help keep the lights on. So yeah. Breakfast, so I had bacon, egg, fried rice for breakfast. It was good. So what are we doing? Today? First thing is this. Every stream or every month we do a community showcase stream. The purpose of this stream is to show off cool, fun prints you and the community, in our community have done. Why? Because I'm tired of everyone printing flexi whatever landfill shit. Okay, there's a lot of cool creative people out there that are using their printers for cool creative things, and the idea is with these streams is to showcase cool stuff you've been working on, you've completed. It doesn't have to be done. It could have been done a while ago. You could be working on it right now. But it's just cool stuff to share that is 3D printing related to help others get inspired. For example, a couple months ago, I built myself a Deku Tree planter based off of what somebody had submitted in the stream. So a couple months ago, somebody made this Deku Tree planter, or not a Deku Tree, it was a wood planter using a 3D printed mesh form. So they 3D printed a mesh form. They impregnated it with concrete. I made an absolute mess doing it. It was a fun project. And I painted it. I did a video on it. It's on the channel. Check out the video. But that was something that I got inspired to do based on something I saw literally on this stream. So the point of these streams is to hopefully get people's creative juices going, get those ideas going, and use your printer for more than printing meme landfill prints. Simple as that. So there's a channel on the Discord called Look What I Printed. If you have not submitted anything yet, you still have a chance. If you do want to submit something, please make sure it is safe for work because we are live on YouTube. So make sure you follow all the rules in regards to that. If you break those rules, you get banned from my Discord, the Voron Discord, and every other Discord I have a chance of doing something to ban you for. Because you got to be mad. Just have fun. So let's start off with Kurt. Granddaughter had a dollhouse build for my daughter-in-law. She passed away long ago. Wanted to add to it, making without taking away, so I printed a basement. Ooh, so you printed it? Oh, that's cute. I thought this was a beer mug. Is that a mouse? I love the brick. I love the brick. Said you printed on the XL. That's a cute idea. That is a cute idea. So just printed a little basement. Did you model this all yourself? I love how these bricks turned out. Not gonna lie, these bricks actually turned out really well. You might want to upload like that brick model so that people can, because these actually turned out really good. That is a very solid brick. Yeah, share this. Yeah, you did it. You created it with Basement, Windows, and Tinkercad. Yeah, that is really cool. You did a crack using SVG, free jog on the crack in the right-hand column. Wait, really? Oh shit, yeah. So you use an SVG to make a pattern, to make a crack. That is really clever. That is really cool. That is a very cool thing to do with a 3D printer. An actual parabola for my microphone to help me with birding. While it's parabola on CAD, since it's printed, it's just slightly off, but it's fun. Oh, that's good. Oh yeah, for listening. Dude, I got, for anyone here who has watched Clarkson's Farm, I got the birding app. I got the bird app, so you can listen to the birds, the Cornell Labs bird app on my phone. This thing was so handy on the trip because when we were out camping and all the birds woke me up at like 4 a.m., I would just turn on the app and let it listen for half an hour, and then I would know all the birds that were annoying me. It's really cool. It's actually a really cool app. Just saying, Reth does 3D printing elves that see stuff for less fortunate. It's not all garbage. I know. I'm being parabolic. Get it? Parabolic. You gotta take it with a grain of salt. Whenever like anyone on the internet says there are something Sith, there are no absolutes. I don't know, but yes, I know. Not every landfill print people print. It's just a generic term now because that seems to be what most people print with their printers. Anyone who follows any company right now on content creation, all they do is show off their printers printing like slop prints. It's like, oh, beer cozies. How many beer cozies do you need? But yeah, the Merlin app is awesome. Camper unit is really big. Post pins. What was this? Oh, this was from a previous one. Jump. Playing it up for the audience. Don't take anything anyone says on any form of media seriously. Even people like me who are doing pretty realistic stuff, like in terms of what you see is what you get, we tend to play it up for the camera. Saw this on Facebook, I had to print it, found me one. So what is it? Oh, is this one of those lithopanes? Yeehaw, cowboy America! That turned out really good though. I love the lightning. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. AI slop, you're missing. Isn't it supposed to be 13? AI. I actually became important at work and it's ruining my life. Oh no. Oh no! Yeah, you don't want this. Avoid this. I did this at my last job. You don't want that. I mean, this is a 2D printing thing. I mean, technically the channel is look what I printed. So, Rose did print these, so. Oh, the Mog. Dude. Seeing everyone build the campers on it is making me want to build the camper on mine. But I don't want to do the camper because I want to leave the back open because I have some, I kind of want to put a high Mars on it. Yeah. That is cool. Modular channels and diffusers, but Bluetooth control LEDs my wife found on clearance for her Legos. Oh, that's cute. That's cute. Oh, she's got like all these little streets. Aw. I got my wife an Eevee Lego set for her birthday, and she loved that. We have a lot of Legos. My kid is 8 now, and it's like, holy shit, I have a lot of Legos. They add up quick. As long as you don't buy the sets. Beware of buying the branded Lego. As long as you buy like generic Legos, they're not that expensive. It's when you buy like the Star Wars Lego where it gets expensive. What is this? No description. What do we got here? Seed, a bunch of wires. Oh, mesh core repeater. Okay, yeah, mesh core. I want to get into this stuff so bad, but there is nothing around me. I'd be talking to myself. I'd literally be doing I want to get into Meshtastic or mesh core or any of that stuff just to play around with it. But I would literally be Millhouse throwing the Frisbee to himself because there's nobody else in my area doing it. The Moab, oh God. That is, I want to build one of these so bad. I know LDO has a kit and I probably could get it, but it's like, I have a couple Nerf blasters in my house and there's already Nerf darts everywhere. I don't want to clean this up. I don't want to be cleaning that up. Ambrosia Delos Rainbow ASA Incredible. What is this? What is that? Oh, it's just a little wind. Oh, that's cute. Ooh, that would be really nice with the multicolor filaments. That is cute. That's cute. I like that. Think you could stretch the mesh network? No. How do I know? There's some websites you can go on to see where the mesh nodes are at, and there's like one in Windsor, and it's like in Windsor, so it's quite far away from me. He's a pretty butterfly. See, it's a butterfly coming out of its cocoon. This isn't a failed print, it is art. It's not a failed print, this is art. This is the pretty butterfly coming out of its cocoon. Oh, what am I doing? It's not spaghetti, this is art. Made myself a button box for Farm Sim. Nice. Sometimes you just gotta lay pipe, I guess. Fold lower, tool F1. The Farm Sim is crazy. Those farm games are crazy. Same with the truck driving games. People get really into that. It lives, noise warning. Still be the change you want to be with one node. Well, I played with the idea of setting up a node and giving my son one so that he can text us, so we don't need to get him a phone. But that would only work within a short range of the house. Auto counter. Oh, it has a counter in it. Ooh. So can you set these up to be remote with a little AI to target people, and then you can have the alien's briefcase with the countdown as it fires? Please tell me you're wearing pants when those aren't your boxers. Oh, Jesus. Get some. Get some. Oh, this one was really cool too. It's a little RC jet boat. Love the little rooster tail, or whatever it's called, the water coming out the back. That's cute. That's cute. Wet biscuit from Cactus Craft. There you go. Test fit done right. Ooh. The aliens rifle. So if I remember correctly, this is a lot of plastic around. It's basically a Thompson and a Spaz, if I remember correctly, with a bunch of plastic around it. Obviously this one's entirely 3D printed and not functional in any way. Printed this last curve in its lace box with slides and mix in the picture. Add an extra slide. It works as a color filter. Printed it as multicolor, but usually printed in parts and glued together. That's cute. It's a nice lithophane. Oh, it's like a shadow box too. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Started 12-hour 7-inch BTT holder for that. Very nice. Pixel display. Lights controlled with WLEDs. These have come down. Remember how expensive the Nanoleafs were? And then everyone's like, yeah, we could totally make these ourselves. Do people still buy Nanoleafs? Like, have the prices of the Nanoleafs come down? Because I remember them being super hot for a while, and then everyone kind of realized, damn, that's a lot of money for some just cheap plastic and LEDs. So a lot of people are DIYing them now. What do we got here? Last year, challenge to design a 128 radio car. I finally decided to share my model. I really hope this model inspires other generals soon to build an active community around it. So we got that, and that's the car. Let's take a look here at what we got to look at. Oh, where'd it go? DIY WL Toys K989 RC car. How many build plates? 12? I mean, that's not bad. That's not a lot of parts. What's the BOM? How cheap is the BOM on this? Required parts: metal gear differential shaft bearing, engine motor, metal gear. Metal gear? So we got $14. Oh god, that's a cheap motor. I am not a robot. I am a man. Okay, well, whatever, AliExpress. That seems relatively inexpensive. That seems relatively inexpensive. Yeah, that seems... If you could find somebody, if you can find a... Oh, let me log in. If you can find somebody to throw together a parts kit, like even if it is just some AliExpress vendor just to have a parts kit, that wouldn't be bad. That's neat. That's neat. I like that. Just finished my DIY printer. Woo, good choice. As soon as I finish the Baby Belt, I will be doing a video talking about fun small DIY printers. So the Baby Belt, the Rook, the Delta Flyer, and then maybe the Micron Plus might be part of that video. But I got to finish the Baby Belt so I can include that with the fun small DIY printer video. Okay. Linux hot swap in the works. Okay, so you have a fixed extruder. That's nice to see. Korean stock market has gone insane. How is housing affordability measured? Dawn of War 4 official trailer. Lost it all.
So, I want to show you something that you might want to use in your next life. I give you what some people call the butt plug sword, but it's also the gayest rapier of all time. I feel this is perfect for a ball.
It's an orange juicer. It's an orange juicer. Or check out this filament. It's everyone's new silk and black filaments printed on the U1. No supports and just using a generic silk profile, 1.6 height. So my potato cam can't do it justice. Silver is really close to chrome. Ooh. See, if you ever print this, what you need, anytime you print a skull, you need to print a, you know how they have those Cricut things? Do I have one? I have one somewhere. I have one of those Cricut PCBs, right? I have one of these guys. So it just, every 1 to 2 hours randomly, it makes the cricket noise, right? Okay. So what you need is one of these loaded with just the bad to the bone rift. And you need to put this inside every single skull print you ever do. So anytime you print a skull, you need to put one of these in there and just, it randomly just plays the bad to the bone guitar riff. Just that. Am I out of coffee? No, I'm not out of coffee. I need more coffee. I slept for like 10 hours last night. It was insane. Building another printer. This time it's a stealth fork. Mechanical is done. Next up, everyone's favorite job, wiring. So much fun. That's clean. What do you have? Are those aluminum or steel? I don't know what those base standoffs are, bed standoffs are. Very clean though. Very clean salad fork. Very clean salad fork. I love how more and more people are just including these cutters in it just in case. It's like, it's a lot easier. Like, yeah, we could just put a VVD on it or whatever. One of my biggest print projects. Plugs make carbon fiber front plug on my Porsche 924 Time Attack race car. The front is 6 parts and the hood fender 14, all 8 to 900 grams each. Print on a Rat Rig V Core 500. All parts were glued together, filed, sanded, and a fiberglass mold was made with them. Then the carbon fiber parts are made in each mold. Okay. So you printed the parts, use that as the form to make the mold, and then gotta do a little bit more sanding. But that is really clever. So Time Attack, is that, who is that? Let me turn off disable mode so I can actually see your name. John, if you're in here. Is Time Attack where you do like, it's like a straight A to B race? It's not like a loop, right? It's just, it's kind of like a rally on a road. Is that what Time Attack is? Is it uphill? Like the Pikes Peak is like a Time Attack, right? You go from A to B just on a road really fast, right? It's like rally on road, right? But that's really cool. If you watch Super Fast Matt, he's been using his printers. He's got a bunch of bamboos now. He's been using his printers to print forms that they just cover with carbon fiber, and then that is the body of the vehicle. So you print the form out of a plastic that can't, like a CFPC or something that can take the heat, and it's not going to like fall apart on you. It's not going to, you know, melt, but something that's not quite structural enough, and then you overlay it with carbon fiber, and then you're done. Like, you don't have to make molds of it. You just build the body out of printed blocks, and then you just overlay it with carbon fiber, which makes it really strong, and off you go. But you got to make sure it's like, you know, don't do it with PLA. You don't want the inside of your car melting on you. Whip in progress on my U1 0.2 nozzle, 0.10 or 0.1 layer height. Meticulous model painting in Orca Slicer. Oh God. Oh God, you painted this in Orca Slicer. Oh. I mean, just painting this in general by hand, but still, that's really cool. So Han obviously shot first, judging as he's all falling apart here. No, it's on a track, just quickest time, not racing wheel to wheel. Okay. Oh, so basically instead of like a big herd of people going at once, it's like, okay, you go. And then 5 minutes later, the next one goes into whoever gets the fastest time. Okay. That makes sense. That's cool. Is it something where there's like a par time so that you can race against like cars in different classes? Or I'm assuming there's different classes of cars. Okay, that Greedo came out really good, Gergman. Pikes Peak is A to definition F. I learned about Pikes Peak in Gran Turismo 3 because of the Escudo Pikes Peak car and how easy it was to break that game the moment you got that car. Because once you got that car, you basically had infinite money. Because there was a race that you did. It was like a long-term race. You did it on... So you had to save like $1 million to get the Pikes Peak car, okay? So you would do this one time attack race over and over because you didn't make a lot of money, but one of the 5 random cars you could get was worth $250,000, so you would sell it because the car wasn't that good. Then you bought the Pikes Peak car, and then you could do these long endurance races by just rubber banding your PS2 controller so that the car would continuously run against the wall of the circular track. And then you would just like modify the downforce on it so it would just stick, and you just let it go. You just leave it on and just leave it on for like 24 hours or whatever, and just do the race over and over and over again and get a shit ton of money. And then you could buy whatever car, whatever. I miss that car. Andy Miller gifted 5 community memberships. Cheers and appreciated, Andy. And Bearded Printer gifted a community membership. Cheers and appreciated. And Gergman gifted a community membership. Cheers and appreciated. Remember, if you got a gifted membership, make sure you thank them. Awesome folks, help supporting the channel. Use 3D printing a good bit when we're building the forks of my motorcycle. Instead of buying the special tool, I printed an adapter to unscrew the damper rod down inside the fork tube. Took a few prints to get them out, or took a few prints to get them out, but once I had the part in hand, designed a better fitting one for assembly. Torqued to 20 newton meters without issue. Designed a seal driver that used the weights of the fork tube to drive the bushing and seal in, then printed a dipstick to measure the fork oil level. Also did TPU battery strap for the bike a while back. Yes, this is one of those things where like you need special tools or you can just kind of YOLO it. Very nice. Yeah, specialized tools, like the fact that like you could just go buy this tool, but if you can 3D print it and it works, there you go. But obsessing over lights lately, combining 3D printing and laser cut materials. Ooh, so we got some 3D printed wood, or okay, so the bands are 3D printed. I think the base is 3D printed, and then the wood is obviously lasered. Oh, dang. See, okay. I don't have my tinfoil hat for ranting. This is the kind of shit I would love to see more of at like not maker fairs, but like art in the parks and, you know, farmers markets and like the stroll the streets, you know, like the events where people set up a booth and sell shit, and it's like a lot of like scented candles and stuff from China being sold as homemade. I think the knitted stuff is popular now. And then you always have all those booths selling 3D printed landfill. I so wish there was more stuff like this. I want to make one of these. Because I'm getting the laser set up again. I want to make one of these. This is what I want to see more of. Use your 3D printer along with other stuff to make unique stuff. That's cute. Like, this is so much nicer to look at than the usual 3D print slop. Oh, look at that! It's art! It's art! You can even personalize it. Oh, this is a waveform of saying I love you or something. Oh, that looks so nice. That looks nice. Bearded Printer, you did good on these. That looks really cool. I want to make something like that. Designed by @Martin on printables, mostly pet cheap minus the boosters because they needed multicolor. Endeavor. Very clean rocket. Although, if I remember correctly, there was no gold. Wasn't it all orange on the booster? I mean, aesthetically it's pleasing, but I don't remember the boost or the tank having that. That looks really nice. That is very clean. One of the first prints I ever printed was a Falcon 9. I printed it in white PLA, and then I used a black marker to try and color in the fans, like the fins black and everything, and it just bled into all the print because I used like a permanent marker. So it just bled into the entire print and ruined it. I'm like, ugh. And that's what I learned. You can't just use a permanent marker to color in a 3D print because it'll just bleed through the layer lines, especially on white. It's the best Stargate model. Nice. HTPLA Pro. Oh, by the way, where is it? I think the embargo finally lifted, so yeah, Polymaker sent me some filament. I'm assuming the embargo lifted because Liz was showing it off there. So yeah. This just randomly showed up in my house a couple days before I left on vacation. And I'm like, I don't know what this is, but I'll look at it when I get back. And it's like, oh, there's an embargo. So yeah, it's a high temp PLA Pro. Squish the spider. So I don't know what I'm gonna use it for, but I've got a bunch of it. So yeah, if you need some high temp PLA Pro, use the Polymaker affiliate link below. Or hey, you could just win this, because every stream we give away a spool of Polymaker filament. So if you just want to, you know, just roll the dice and win one of these, enter to win. Link below. While you're down there, don't forget to like the smash button, ring the bell, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and hey, if you want to help support the channel, content I create, things I do, consider becoming a channel member, Patreon supporter, or if you're really cool, gifting memberships to others. Compatible with all standard FDM 3D printers and multicolor systems. Ooh la la. Still got a cardboard. Ooh, that's a nice teal. I'm gonna save you. That is a nice teal. How's the burnt orange? How's the burnt orange? Ooh, that is a very nice burnt orange. Very nice finish. Build a vor on it, see if it melts. Nope. People have tried using high temp PLAs in the past. It never works. It doesn't work. This, honestly, you want to know what this kind of stuff is really good for? The high temp PLAs, CNCs. If you're building like a CNC, not the motor mounts. I wouldn't trust this on the motor mounts themselves, but the actual like the mini mill, the Money Machines, Milo, a lot of the blockier parts, PLA works really good for that because it's really stiff. The problem is you don't want to enclose it, but you're not enclosing a CNC. So the high temp PLAs would like even like the Cascade, the Voron Cascade little desktop CNC, that's where this kind of stuff kind of is good to do. So see if these were what you need to do, Liz, okay, you just need to slap the Yeti logo on these and sell them for like 80 bucks each and you'll be laughing. Jeep ducks. Jeep people. What is it? Built over bought porch T-Rex? What is a bought porch T-Rex? It gives you the arms. It's a nice screen. That's a nice screen. Magenta. I don't think I got, what did I get? I got dark gray, white, black, burnt orange, Polymaker teal. Work in progress is a modular 5-inch sanding disc organizer. You can, ooh, that is very nice. That is a very, oh, and you got the little name tags that come out. Very nice. Shit. Clever, clever, clever. That's a nice little print. Work in progress. Internal TPU shaped to conform ASA and TPU. Very nice. HD0. Very nice. The thing is, I don't fly enough. My DJI, my FPV setup is basically a Gen 1 DJI goggles with an analog receiver on it. Most of my quads are analog. I have two with DJI. I can't remember. I don't fly enough to be like worth upgrading my system. Bob is the designer. Ah. Open grid underwear. project for your desk. Clever. Cool. Q. Beer tap for summer. Lager. It's a lager. It's lager. Nice. Gonna be interesting to see how pulling on the top of this, how long this lasts. Because you're gonna, I worry about the letters breaking off. You know, I know the forces on the, like the shaft goes through the black part of the back there, but every time you grab those letters, you're gonna be, I just worry about that. But that is really cool. Just in progress, syringe printer for bioprinting. Are you doing mad scientist shit? What are you bioprinting at home? Ghost. What are you bioprinting at home? Latency is a bit, yeah, the one quad I have that I do the long range stuff with, the one that's like the 250 one that has like 12 kilometers of range, it's based on an LR4 that basically none of it's original. It's a cruiser. All the quads I fly are kind of like park cruisers. I don't do any bando bashing or anything. I'm not that good of a pilot, so usually I just kind of cruise around with them. The only ones that I really do the cool shit with is like the little tiny whoops, and I fly them around parks. So the latency isn't really an issue for the most part. Calgary Fury Ball Hockey Club. This player signed the background base as a gift. Nice. Got a bit of a temperature wobbliness going on there, unless that's supposed to be like a wood grain. I think that's supposed to be like a wood grain effect. Yeah, that looks more like it's supposed to be a wood grain effect. Okay. I'm like, you're cooking it. Very nice. The latest impulse buy at Costco. I couldn't resist reliving my childhood, but seriously, I'm not gonna freeze my fingers off this summer. What? Did you print? Oh, that's clever. So, I'm assuming you cut the top off, you hold the bottom, and it comes out the bottom? Is that how it works? The empty comes out the bottom? Oh, and that's it. That is it. We don't really have a lot this bunch. Usually we have enough to spend about an hour looking at community prints. But I was gone for 2 weeks, so I didn't really advertise it too heavily. The original plan during the vacation was I was going to try and do 1 or 2 streams while on the go. I did bring my camera in case there was something worth filming while I was out there. And if I was going to stream, the thing is, I just didn't have time to do a stream. There was no point where it's like I can just check out for 2-3 hours with high-speed internet and just do a little community hangout stream kind of thing. Because the plan was to basically do what we're doing right now and talk about Nozzlegate while I was on the vacation. But I didn't have the time. There was like, the couple of times that I did have like 2 to 3 hours where I had nothing going on, I was either in a place with no internet or is like I was exhausted. So yeah, the freeze print wins. Yeah, the Nozzlegate. So let's talk about, I know I talked about it earlier. So here's my thing with Nozzlegate. Let's talk about Nozzlegate. Personally, it doesn't change my thoughts on the index system at all. I know a lot of people are miffed because the index system has taken a while to come out. They were hoping it would be a lot sooner. It was delayed, and then this comes out where it's like, oh, the nozzles that are harder than most other nozzles, like, they are hard nozzles, but they're not as hard as people wanted, because people, for some reason, had in the head, like, because they called them hardened nozzles, okay? They called them hardened nozzles. I remember speaking with them. I don't know if I got it on one of the videos with them, or if it was on, like, the hour live stream when I was at Bondtech last year, but I remember one of them telling me the nozzles are harder than your average unhardened nozzle, but they're not quite like hard nozzles. Like, they're hard enough to resist, you know, everyday 3D printing, no problem, and a little bit of like carbon fiber or glass filled here and there. and you probably wouldn't wear them out in any normal use if you're a normal 3D printer person, but like they are not full on like Diamondbacks. I remember that basically like a conversation basically along those lines happening with me. I don't know if I got it on camera. I don't know if it was in like, it wasn't in the Rocky Mountain video because we just called them hardened. But here's the thing. One of my biggest gripes with the 3D printing at large community is simply the fact we have no absolute standards at all for anything, okay? We have no standardization of terms in 3D printing. The fact that we call bed flingers Cartesian printers, Cartesian is just a layout. This is our Cartesian grid. This isn't a motion system. This is filament. This is a Cartesian grid. Like, Cartesian. A Cartesian means related to the French thinker René Descartes. Okay, Cartesian coordinate system, Cartesian product, Cartesian philosophy. It's not a motion system, but we call bed flingers. That's one of the reasons I like calling them bed flingers, because I think it's actually a more better term than a Cartesian printer. Is like, here in 3D printing land, we just be making shit up. We just be making shit up. What is a Bowden extruder? Like, people call this extruder on the tool head here, this is a direct drive extruder. No, it's not. It's a geared extruder. If it was a direct drive extruder, it'd be like the Prusa Mark II or Mark III, where the drive gear was directly on the drive motor, because then the extruder is directly driving the filament. This is a geared extruder that's direct feed into the hot end, not remote feed, because the extruder on a Bowden setup is remote. And you have a Bowden tube. Well, what if you had some system that didn't use a Bowden tube? Would it still be a Bowden extruder? I don't know. Is a booster an extruder? It's a booster. Like, 3D printing terms, we just be making shit up and flying from the seat of our pants. So when a company comes out with a hot end, and they're like, hey, look at our hot end, it's a high flow hot end. This is a high flow hot end. Can somebody quote me the actual definition term of how much flow rate and how you measure that flow rate empirically with what filament and using what method constitutes a high flow hot end? Because for most people, it's like, oh, high flow is more than like V6. Okay, well that V6 caps out at like 12 in like the best of conditions. Okay, sometimes less. So it's 13 millimeters cubed to flow a high flow hot end. Well, I mean, it's technically more than a V6, but why are we comparing to a V6, right? Is a standard bamboo hot end a high flow? Well, what is a CHD? What is ultra high flow? What is super duper omega high flow? Because now we have all these different tiers. There is no definition standard of these things in 3D printing. What is a hardened nozzle? What is a hardened nozzle? It's a nozzle that's hard. Steel's hard. Steel with a coating is harder than steel, so that's hardeneder. As far as I'm aware, the index nozzles are steel with a coating. That is a hard nozzle. That is a hard nozzle. Is it hardened? Did it go through a hardening process? Well, is it a DLC coat on it? I can't remember. There is a coating on it. Machining it technically work hardens it a bit, so it did go through a little bit of a hardening process. Like, what is a hardened nozzle? Would you buy a nozzle that wasn't hardened if it was really hard? How would you advertise it? Diamondback nozzles are sintered. They're not hardened. They're sintered. They take powder, they compress it into the final shape. That's the nozzle. There was no hardening process there. It was sintered together. And then it was embedded in a brass sleeve for the rest of the assembly of it. So, is you calling a nozzle hardened even the right term? We shouldn't even be doing this, because nozzles should just have a sticker on it that just says the Rockwell rating. But is that the proper way to measure the hardness of a nozzle, by its Rockwell rating or its wear rate, based on, like, should we be running 20% PLA filament at this temperature, carbon fiber filled? How much does it degrade over 20 kilograms? Like, what is the proper way of measuring the shit we talk about in 3D printing? Because everyone just compares to everything. Well, I seen people like, well, they said hardened, so I assumed it would be as hard as, a tungsten carbide nozzle. So you assumed. So you made an ass of yourself because you assumed something. Just because they say it's hard you assumed it was hardened. Or they said it was hardened, you assumed it would be as hard as these other hardened nozzles that aren't hardened. They're just manufactured to a way that makes them hard. There's not even a hardening process. So like, I know people are peeved that the index system wasn't as hard as they thought it was, and it came out late, okay? And the marketing did fumble it. The marketing, whoever, I know there was a statement in one of the marketing blurbs like, oh, you never have to worry about wear again. That's not true. Even the best nozzle in the world, even a Diamondback nozzle, you can eventually wear it out if you feed it enough good stuff. It is what it is. The heat death of the universe will end us all. Everything will eventually return to nothing. Nothing's infinite, okay? Except taxes. So I get where people are coming from, where they feel they've been misled, and marketing did fumble it, okay? Marketing did fumble it. But I really think they're turning a marketing fumble into like, oh, this product's useless now. The way I've seen some people talk about it, like, holy shit, you checked, LTT did a video where they talked about the index system, and like, I seen a comment where somebody's like, the comment was like, oh, it's great, this video comes out, they don't even acknowledge Nozzlegate, and then somebody's like, well, yeah, they probably filmed this video like a week ago before even all this came out, and it's not like they were testing by feeding it 20 kilograms of glass filled. And somebody below, it's like, what's Nozzlegate? It's like, oh, the nozzles weren't as hard as people thought they would be. And then the immediate comment below from some random person is like, sounds like a shit company, I'll never buy their product again. It's like, that's the kind of like environment we live in. Meanwhile, Bamboo's just openly stealing IP rights and like violating open source codes. Nobody gives a shit about that. Nobody gives a shit about Bamboo stealing rights. Nobody gives a shit about companies violating the rights of the Clipper license. Nobody gives a shit about that. But, oh, the nozzle's not as hard as I thought it would be. Because, again, there is no definition term of a hardened nozzle. So you thought it would be 50 to 60, it turns out it's around 30. A brass nozzle, for comparison, is about 0 to 10, and a regular steel nozzle is like 20 to 30. So it's like, it sucks you thought, and it sucks that the marketing wasn't clear enough. But that's like saying like, there is no stat number that you can pull out to reference to validate your case. Well, they said it was a hardened nozzle. Okay, well, it's harder than brass, it's harder than regular steel. It's steel with a coating through whatever process they did. I don't know the exact process. So it's like, it is harder than your average 3D printing nozzle. So it's hard. It's not hardened, but it's hard. But then again, a lot of the hardened nozzles aren't hardened because hardening is a process. So if it just comes out of the factory hard, like a sintered nozzle, it's not hardened, but we call it a hardened nozzle because we just be making shit up when it comes to terms. So, it's just, it'd be a lot nicer if we actually had like an actual ISO standardization in 3D printing, but no company will agree to like some standard. It's like, remember when Mosquito, when Slice came out with their ultra high flow hot end, and they were like telling numbers that were insane, and then you read the white paper and it was like, yeah, we were printing ABS at like 400 degrees on the nozzle, and like the filament was coming out degraded, but we were getting amazing flow rates. And it's like, well, yeah, because you basically turn the filament into liquid water at that point, at that temperature. There's nothing left. It loses all structural molecular bonds, just start falling apart, and it just falls through the nozzle at that point. It also depends on your extruder, right? Certain extruders are better at pushing filament than others. Does that play into flow rate calculations on a hot end? Like, what extruder are you using? Like, it sucks that marketing dropped the ball on this. Marketing dropped the ball on this. It doesn't change what the product is, though. It's still an extremely good multi-material system. It just doesn't withstand prolonged, and by prolonged, I mean prolonged abrasive materials. But how often are you planting abrasive materials? The tools are relatively inexpensive. Buy a couple extra. Buy a sacrificial one that's like 0.6 already. So it's less constrained. It's also CHT, so it's high flow. You really don't even want to be printing filled materials on CHT. You can, I've done it, but it's a much higher jam risk. So if you're buying a CHT nozzle specifically to print high flow stuff, They didn't lie about them being CHT. You knew they were CHT nozzles, and if you bought them with the intent of printing a lot of filled material, that's kind of on you, dog. CHT nozzles are not great for filled materials to begin with. So you were buying a system with a CHT nozzle that can withstand a bit of abrasive, and you're planning to print abrasives on it on a nozzle that's not really great for abrasives just from the structure of it. It's a CHT. CHTs aren't great at filled materials to begin with. So I think the CHT puts a bigger dampener in it being a abrasive resistant nozzle than the actual hardness of the nozzle, because you'll probably jam up the CHT before you wear out the nozzle. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's overblown. Bondtech is not a huge company, for those that have never like looked into it. Okay, Bondtech is not a huge company. When I visited them last year, they had like 20 or 30 employees. They are not a massive company. Okay, they traditionally are nozzles and extruders. This is their first foray into a large thing. So I don't know what happened between the communication between development, manufacturing, and marketing. I don't know what happened there. I'm like, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt and just kind of chalk it up to, shit, somebody fucked up. My bad. I think a lot of this, if I remember, I was on vacation for the past 2 weeks, so I was like checking shit on my phone occasionally, maybe once or twice a day to see what was going on. I think a lot of this kind of blew up on a weekend. So like people weren't in the office. So like it took them a bit to get responses out. I know their initial response didn't go over well, but it's like, yeah. The CHT channels are huge. They still jam more than often. Every CHT I've used abrasives on does eventually jam on me, and they are buggered to unclog. Like, I still have CHT nozzles from the original batch of CHT V6s. So, yeah, it's... They also sold non-CHT standard? Okay. Well, then, it'd be a lot better then. I don't know. Here's my problem. Because I was able to talk to him directly, I never looked at any of the marketing stuff. So, like, I kind of knew all this stuff going in, where it's like, yeah, it's, you know, it can handle the odd abrasive, but I have no plans of printing full abrasives on it. I know the nozzles are like this. I know, you know, they're CHT, so don't print filled stuff. Like, I knew all this going in because I didn't pay attention to any of the marketing, because I just asked them this stuff in person. So, like, if you just read the marketing, I get it. Because it's like the marketing kind of fumbled the ball. So, like, here's the thing. How many hardened nozzles do you need? Buy an extra 0.6 non-CHT one. Use it as your sacrificial nozzle for specifically carbon fiber stuff. Maybe buy an extra. Like, that's what they should have did. They should just give people a couple extra nozzles. Like, here's an extra couple nozzles. You thought it were hard. Here's a couple extra nozzles. People are working on, I know E3D is working on some stuff now. Here's some sacrificial nozzles to get you by in the meantime. Hey, if they happen to die, they die. Here you go. If they don't die, well, here you go. Like, I know a lot of the people thought the nozzles were harder than they were, and that the people wanted more compensation. From what I've seen online, people thought the nozzles were harder than they were because people assumed hardened meant hardened, when hardened means hardened, and we don't have a definition for hardened, so you can't argue what you thought hardened was, because we don't have an acceptable standardization for hardened. In my opinion, steel is hardened. If you ask me, hey, can I print abrasive filaments on a steel nozzle? I'll go, yeah, you can do it. Might wear out eventually, but you can do it. Depends how much you're printing. If you're a power user, you might want to look into like a tungsten nozzle. But like, hey, I kind of want to dabble around with printing carbon fiber. Can I just buy a cheap steel nozzle to try it out? Yeah, sure, go for it. I consider steel hardened. That's my definition. But I got into 3D printing in 2017 when you either had a brass nozzle or steel nozzle, or you paid $100 for a ruby nozzle that fell out on you. So, like, it's, yeah. So, the glow in the dark, The glow-in-the-dark stuff from Prusa, they make that stuff on their oldest filament line because it kills the machine. They literally blow out the freaking nozzle on the extrusion machine, extruding that stuff. Like, it destroys the extruding machine to turn the plastic into filament. If it's destroying the industrial hardware that's designed to work at industrial scale, what the do you think it's gonna do to your piddly 3D printer hot end? I'd be worried about the freaking, that thing is gonna destroy your boning tubes. I'd be worried about destroying my extruder gears. I'd be worried about destroying the throat of my hot end or my heat break if it rubs on that. You better hope your filament line is perfectly straight into that nozzle. Wait until Cornell. Yeah, and also, what have I told everyone in the past when a company comes out with a new product that's not their normal wheelhouse? I've said this many times on the channel in the past. What is my go-to recommendation when a company comes out with a new product of something they haven't done before? Somebody in chat. Somebody in chat. Second or third generation. Exactly. Like, I hate that we have to follow I call it Creality's law. I hate that we have to follow Creality's laws with Bondtech. But just assume when a company comes out with a new product that is outside of their normal wheelhouse of products, assume there will be issues with the first generation. Just assume. If you're okay being a beta tester or accepting there might be something wrong, or you like the company, you want to support them, feel free to purchase. Feel free to purchase. But just, this is their first attempt at something new. Shit go wrong. So, yeah. So it sucks that we have to pull out my, as I like to call it, Creality's law with Bondtech. But like, it is a first generation product from a company that hasn't done this whole assembly type thing before, this tool changer setup. So there probably will be teething issues, as we've seen. Index was hyped to the moon. That's from the community. Bondtech kind of didn't really go big on this. They did not expect the hype. I've spoken to them. I've spoke when I went and visited them last year, and I spoke to them about Index. They did not expect the level of hype they got. Okay, they did not expect the level of hype. When they showed it off at Rapid TCT last year. Was it last year? 2 years ago. Yeah, last year. 2020, early 2025, I think it was. When they showed it off for the first time and they put out that little teaser video and it exploded, they did not expect the level of hype and interest that it got. They thought it would be, you know, people would like it, but they didn't expect this level of hype from it. And then people really overhyped. I don't think people overhyped it, but people were really, hey, holy shit, a cost-effective drop-in tool changing system from a non-Chinese company that isn't a clone of somebody else's shit. Because China's already cloning the Index. I've already seen pictures of clone, like direct one-to-one clones. It's like, come on, guys, get creative. Like, make up something new for once. Stop cloning shit. So, yeah, it's... The community really hyped it up. The community really hyped it up. The community really hyped it because it was exactly what the community wanted. We wanted a relatively inexpensive, out of the box, drop it in your machine and go tool changing system that had a ton of benefits. The Index system on paper is probably one of the best, if not the best, tool changing systems out there. It's relatively cost effective. It's complex. You could fit a lot of tools in a small area because the tools aren't that complex. There is a lot of pros to this system. It's just not as hard as you thought it was. And it took a little bit longer to come out than you hoped. And at the last minute, the price did go up a bit. But guess what? The price of everything's going up. So you can't complain about the price because the price of everything's going up. So that's completely out of their hands. So right around, giving a lot of leeway. Well, here's the thing, like, their marketing effed it up. Their marketing effed it up. It's not as hard as people thought it was. But like, okay, I planned on only printing PLA and PETG in it. So that doesn't change how I would use this machine at all. And the majority of people who probably will be printing up with these will be printing PLA and PETG, standard color filament, and they'll never have an issue. Simple as that. This does, like, the nozzle not being as hard as people hoped it would be, because they said it was hardened and people thought hardened meant this when there is no definitional standard of hardened. So it is harder than steel, but like, this doesn't change how I would use it at all. Like, literally, this isn't a problem for me. I didn't plan on printing filled material on it anyways. So this doesn't change my opinion on it at all for me. So sounds like marketing is a separate company. I don't know who their marketing person is. Again, Bondtech's not a big company, 20, 30 people. I think it's a bit more now, but like, everyone that I know that has one has had I know one person got a cloud of death on it that kind of screwed stuff up, but I haven't actually seen pictures of it. But like, a cloud of death can screw up any hot end. I've seen quite damaging clouds of death on every type of 3D printer, even Vorons. Saying that, I'm saying passes the blame to marketing. Well, that's what the marketing is, the problem. The marketing is the final step between the manufacturer and the audience. So the audience only sees what the marketing puts out. So if the marketing puts out something that, you know, in the marketing, they had a statement saying, oh, like, these nozzles will last for all your use, or whatever they said in the statement that let people believe it was super duper hardened, and that it can print carbon fiber just fine forever. Because I do believe there was a misquote, or not a misquote, there is a statement in the marketing. So it's the marketing, right? The people building the hot end, it's not like when they built these nozzles, they're like, turn it down, turn the hardness down. They're like, oh, this is what it came out to. So yeah, the marketing effed up. The marketing, if the marketing had said, hey, these nozzles are steel with a coating, they're hard enough for daily 3D printing use and very light amounts of abrasive materials, but your results may vary with abrasives. It may last a while with some of the cheaper, less filled materials, but if you start feeding it like Prusa super duper glow in the dark shit through it, it'll probably blow out in a kilogram or two. We wouldn't be having this conversation right now. You thought buying an index would make you more attractive? I mean, it might. So, you might. They sold a product under one description, shipped the product, and didn't align with the description, and then tried to sneakily add it after the fact. Yeah. If you're angry about it, vote with your wallet. I've seen much shadier shit from other companies that people let get away. Simple as that. People are still buying bamboo printers. So, yeah, and they've handled it poorly. They have handled it poorly. I said that earlier. This is the second time we're talking about this. The communication afterwards were not handled well. Now, to be fair, they got some pretty hateful comments from people that went beyond, hey, as a company, you effed up. Like, people got pretty vocal in certain ways that if I worked customer service at a company, I'd be dropping your call if you called me saying that shit. So it is what it is. But again, then again, it is what it is. The nozzles were not as hard as people hoped they would be. They called them hardened. People thought they had this vision in their head that hardened meant this amount of hardness when the nozzles were not. If that affects you, don't buy the product. And complain if you got the product and get it fixed. And they should fix it because you bought it under false assumptions. But as somebody who wasn't planning to print any abrasives in this at all, or very light amounts, this doesn't affect my thought on the product at all, because I'm not the use case that this affects. It is what it is. Also, yes, I am giving Bondtech a little bit of a mulligan on this, okay? Because Bondtech hasn't really fucked up much in the past. Like, every piece of hardware I've ever used from Bondtech has been solid. Their extruders are great. Their nozzles are great. I've, like, how many, no, I don't have a kit yet. how many printers out there have I built over the years that use Bondtech extruders or Bondtech nozzles or like other stuff from Bondtech? Like, it sucks they fucked up, but I'm hoping this is their like wake up moment where it's like, okay, we had a good run going, we fucked up, let's unfuck this now. So like it kind of, yes, I know some people I've already seen comments like, oh, you'd be more harsh if Bamboo did this. I would be more harsh if Bamboo, because Bamboo has a track record of doing shit. Okay? There are companies there that have track records of continuously releasing subpar products or violating licenses or not crediting creators or just straight up stealing and cloning ideas. So when a company has their first big PR fuck up, yeah, I kind of, and they have a history of not being a fuck up of a company, it's kind of like, shit, wake up, get your shit together. I don't want to be shitting on you. Come on. Come on. So, yeah. So, yeah. Mostly Bamboo shills. I have seen some people chirp Bondtech quite heavily over this, and I know they are wholehearted Bamboo fanboys. So I'm not saying A equals X, but Y leads to Z. So yeah. I just love people trying to claim the Vortex system as a tool changer. It's not. Like, what is a tool changer? What is the definition of a tool changer? Like, my definition of a tool changer is the filament remains loaded during the whole process. The fact that the Vortex has to unload from the extruder means it's not a tool changer, in my opinion. But there is no definition of a tool changer in 3D printing land. Is a nozzle swapper a tool changer? Like, yeah. People on the internet suck? They do. The internet does suck. You don't suck. You all right here, you don't suck. You're here, you're amazing. Even the people who don't agree with me, you're amazing. So, and for disclosure, yes, Bondtech has flown me out to visit them last year. Yes, Bondtech has provided product for the channel in the past. And last I was speaking to them, they are going to be sending me an index kit, although I'm pretty sure we're waiting on the production version, not the Founders Edition. So I won't be getting one until, at least last I chatted with them, I'll be getting the production index system, not the Founders Edition one. So the one with the injection molded parts and that. So we'll be waiting on that. But also disclosure, I do not have any affiliate links with Bondtech, and Bondtech, outside of sending me the odd product, there is no monetary compensation going on between me and Bondtech at all. I do not have an affiliate program with Bondtech. I don't even think Bondtech does affiliate programs. So there's that disclosure. So thoughts and opinions are my own, and I have disclosed I am giving them a little bit of a mulligan because they have been a very good company in the past towards people in 3D printing, and I'm just kind of hoping this is their, shit, we fucked up, let's kind of unfuck this situation. Founders Edition, I know, I do like the SLS parts. I do like the finish on the SLS. I've seen pictures of the injection molded parts, and they look good, but I do like the look of the SLS parts. They sponsored my trip. Yes, they did. Sorry, forgot about that. They did sponsor the trip to Rocky Mountain. So they gave me money. I went out there, I did my videos, and I do my normal ad read, which if you've ever seen the LDO ones, same thing. So decade in the industry. Yeah, like, let's be honest, this is like their first time shooting themselves in the foot. This is their first time shooting themselves in the foot. Let's hope they recover. Like, they don't have a history of doing shit like this. They overpromised and they underdelivered on a product that I still think is a solid product. Like, outside of the little asterisks of it took a little bit longer than they thought, it's a little bit more expensive than we hoped because everything has gone up in price, so I don't even blame them for that. And the nozzle isn't as hard as some people thought it was. It's still a solid product in my opinion. Again, I didn't plan on printing carbon fiber on this much anyways, so me not being able to hook up my 3 kilogram spool of CFASA to it and print an entire frame for a Unimog, it doesn't really change my opinion because I wasn't going to do that originally. So, yeah. Oh, the Chinese are copying it like crazy. The Chinese are completely unabashed when it comes to that. They're copying it like crazy. I've already seen full clones of it. So. Just glad I didn't wait around. Here's the thing. There is nothing wrong about just waiting. I don't know, like, one of the biggest things I hate about 3D printing is the whole Kickstarter thing. We're like Sovol right now. Hey, we are an established company that already has the engineering and the tooling and whatever to make this thing, but buy it early. We promise it'll be good on release. I hate the whole pre-purchase now and hope for the best mentality, because like the M1D, it looks really good on paper, but I haven't seen any index tool, IDEX. I haven't seen any IDEX tool changers where one nozzle changes, and we haven't seen this before. I hope it works out good, because people are hyping the shit out of this thing again, and here we go again. So hopefully it delivers, but people are buying machines that nobody has in their hand except for content creators that hype shit up, because that's what we do. So anyone who has one now has a pre-production unit that's not indicative to production units. That's also one of the reasons I wanted to wait for a regular edition of the Index, not the Founders Edition. I wanted what, if you were to go out and buy one the day after watching my stream and go, hey, he had fun building that, I want to build one of those too, you go out and buy the same thing I have. Because with the Founders Edition, you can't go out and buy a Founders Edition. They're already gone. So. Like, I've used Sovol printers before. I've had good luck with them. My only concern with them is they are built to a price point. They are built to a price point. And if you're okay with that, they are very solid machines. I know a lot of people that have them. They work great, but they are built to a price point. So. Okay. Is that enough about that? Are we good with Index? Does anyone grossly agree or disagree with me and wants me to go into something a little bit more detailed? Are we good with Nozzlegate? Can we move on to something else? Still love Index. Like, does anyone in chat right now have an Index and has had a problem with it? I want to know if everyone who has gotten a Founders Edition, how's the experience been so far? Like, has anyone had any issues? Is the Sovol patent infringement? I don't think it's Sovol. It's Creality. Is the Clitic? Creality's Clitic or the Infamec one? I think those ones are much closer. Yeah, Marcel's got his, no issue. Everyone I know that has one, that is actually using it and not complaining about it online, has had good times with it so far. So far so good, yeah. Like, it sucks that people thought it would be harder, but do you think the unprotected induction coils are as risky as the internet makes it out to be? No. The coils, I think they have a lacquer on them anyway, so they're not like, it's not like exposed copper. They do have like a lacquer coating on them. I spoke to them about it. They never think that would be an issue. Yeah. Two problems, thermal runaway due to IR blocked by blobs. Well, here's the thing. If you get the IR blocked by a blob, wouldn't it give you an invalid temperature reading anyways? And then it would error out? Like, if it gets blocked by plastic, it reads the plastic temperature, which will be different than the metal temperature. Because the plastic doesn't conduct heat like the metal. M1D is using the Bondtech filament thing. Well, if they're violating the patent, and then the customer. So here's the thing, I'm in Canada, I'm not in the EU. I don't know how this works. Because here's the thing, if they go to court and they say in court, well, we said they were hardened, and then the court's like, well, define hardened. There's like, well, there is no industry accepted term for hardened. Like, that's the thing. Like, I don't know. I don't think it's gonna go to court. I don't think it's gonna go to court, but yeah. It goes to max, then shuts down. Ugh. I don't know. I don't have one in my hand, so I can't think. Did it shut down safely? Like, if it reads to max, is the same as reading to 0. Like, I'm sure there's something they can do to make it safe. Sarah says you won't do a Soval M1D until it's been resolved. Okay. Yeah, if there is outstanding patent issues with the M1D, then no creator should be promoting it. But, of course, creators are promoting it, because it is what it is. Okay. So, I think that is what it is. I think we're good there. I hope it didn't come across as shilly. I hope it came out more to, it just sucks that a company that has been good to us in the past has had their first big F up. And I think people are, while they have a valid excuse to be disappointed, the way, and so I've seen some people speak about this, I think is a bit, I don't want to say overblown, but I think some people are taking this way overboard in terms of like the backlash. It's like they effed up. I think they know it now. People need to stop calling for heads on pikes. Because some of this comments I've seen is like, bro, it's a 3D printer. Chill. Patents are garbage and stifle innovation. Yes and no. I have some thoughts on that. I wish it could be a more nuanced system, but it is really disappointing to see a company spend years developing a product only for another company to just copy the shit out of it, be able to undercut them because they don't have to make up any deficits in, you know, the cost of developing it. And also they live in an area where they can manufacture stuff cheaper and just completely like just overpower the original creator. That kind of shit I don't like seeing. I don't like seeing. If you come up with something on your own, you should have a protected period where you have rights to help recoup the investment that you did to develop it. Because then it's, if patents didn't exist, why would I ever develop anything? I would just sit there with a company just designed to maximize cloning, right? I would just like, why would I put any money into R&D when I could just wait till somebody comes out with something good and just clone them? Why would I waste money in R&D when I could just, oh, they came out with this, buy it, one-to-one copy, sell it for a little bit less because I don't have to make up the investment in development. Like, we don't want that world. We don't want that world. There has to be some sort of protection in place. Yeah. Action's already in progress. Cool. Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. It's like, I've had people like, people are like, oh, action's already in place. We'll see. We'll see. Like, if they go to court, I honestly, that sucks. But like, okay, I guess we all just go back to buying whatever China makes. Am I gonna print with them? I don't know. Probably at some point, but not today. I mean, I just turned the printers on for the first time in 3 weeks. Okay. So what is the last thing? Patent trolls. Patent trolls are bad. Patents should be a shorter term. They should fall under use it or lose it. So if you own the patent on something and you're not actively developing a product or making something that the patent covers over a certain amount of time, you lose it. Patent should be use it or lose it, that it should have a shorter period, and there should be something in place where you have to license it, where you have to, for a reasonable cost, allow people to license your patent. I wish I could make those three things happen in a actual way that makes the system work, but it should be use it or lose it. You must use it or lose it, a shorter time period, and also you have to license it for a reasonable fee. So that prevents, you know, people from sitting on patents and not using them, so patent hoarding. That prevents people from completely dominating the market for 20 years. Hello, Stratasys. And also that prevents somebody from sitting on a technology that everyone benefits from, but locking it down fully. Cough, cough, slice, and nozzle heat break standoff things. So yeah. I mean, do I get about cloning in other industries? I mean, is there any technology in microwaves that's still being developed? I don't think microwaves have changed in 50 years. Except they have a popcorn button now. Yeah. Like, it just sucks working in an industry where so many people have no questions or qualms about people cloning shit. Like, the amount of comments I've seen from people are like, oh, I'll just wait for the clone of this to come out. I'll just wait for the Chinese clone of the index to come out and just buy that because it'll be cheaper. It's like, the Chinese clone only exists because this company spent the time to develop the original product. If we all just waited on the Chinese clone of stuff, remember how we only had Enders? Remember how every 3D printer was an Ender 3? So, 3D printing is not using... Yeah, I know. It's every now and then something from CNC land makes its way into 3D printing, like tool changers, and everyone's like, oh my god, new stuff! And it's like, everyone who's like done CNC in the past is like, that's like 50-year-old shit. Okay. Yeah, if anyone come out with something new or novel, yeah. Like the index system where, you know, it grips the filament, it has the tool, where the tool is completely inert, it's inductive. There is a lot of stuff in the index system we haven't seen in 3D printing. And because they took the time to develop that method, I do believe they should have some rights to that method for a bit. Should they be able to sit on that for 20 years? No. But should they have a grace period where they are allowed to defend, you know, sell their product without the fear of competition because they took the time to develop something new? Yes. It'd be nice if they could, you know, work out arrangements to license it. That'd be cool. I mean, they're obviously working with other companies like E3D for nozzles. So, hey, that's nice to see that they're working with other companies to get nozzles. So we'll just wait. So, are we giving stuff away? No, this isn't Loyal Moses. You're not here for free shit. No, they sent me this stuff. And I had it in a box since before I went on vacation. So I finally opened up the box to see what it was. And it's a bunch of high temp PLA. So we'll be using that later. Okay, so I think that's enough of that. I hope I didn't disenfranchise some people with my thoughts there. I think some people wanted me to be a bit more harsh because I've been harsh to companies in the past over shit. But those companies tend to have a history of it. Or they started off by trying to light my basement on fire. Cough, cough, bamboo, cough. So I kind of came out of the gate a little miffed. But this is an issue. It needs to get resolved. It is critical to some people. I fully understand that. They did fuck up the marketing. People were oversold on a product. In my personal case, this would not affect me at all though, because I had no plans of printing abrasives on this anyways, other than maybe the odd little bit here and there. So at the end of the day, this doesn't change my personal opinions on the system because this is outside of the scope case for the use case of the system for me anyways. But I can see how those that thought that they would be able to buy nozzles for $40 and they would never die, the marketing led them to believe that. So that is kind of my statement on it. And again, I do acknowledge this is their first kind of real big F up. So I am giving them a bit of a mulligan. Now, if we start seeing repeated patterns of this shit, the spicy hat going on. But like, exposed induction coils, they're fine. They got a coating on them. It's not like you touch them and you get electrocuted. Like, is there supposed to be a piece of plastic in front of it? Like what? I've never worked with induction coils. And I've seen them exposed before. Like, usually the wire is exposed from every type of induction. Like, the only ones I've worked with before are these kind of induction coils. These big ass ones where, oh, the metal's exposed. So I don't know what the problem is with having the metal exposed because I've always seen them exposed. They're held together with glue. It's like an epoxy. It's an epoxy. Pantheon swaps nozzles after 10 to 15 kilograms. Yeah, they're Fetus nozzles. These ship with, at least this one came with Fetus nozzles. Fetus tungsten carbide nozzles. Yeah, they're not like, it's not like the wires just free-handed exposed. There is like an epoxy coating on them because the wires have to be insulated from each other. It's not like it's one solid mass of copper. Each wire is insulated from another wire with a lacquer on it. And then I think the whole thing is like an epoxy coating. So But yeah, any sort of insulation takes away from the effect. So like every time I look up induction, the wires are just straight up exposed. So I don't think that's an issue. Induction coil heater. Like, they're all exposed wires. That has a fiberglass sleeve on it, that one. That has like just a lacquer coating on it. Yeah, they're all just kind of exposed wires. I've only ever seen them exposed. I've never seen them behind like a piece of metal. You can see that you've always been able to see the individual wire on every one I've seen, so. Just don't lick them. Well, yeah, that's usually a good rule of thumb. I mean, your nozzle's pretty hot. I wouldn't be going anywhere near it when it's hot anyways. I mean, induction, it cools off quick too, right? So like the heater itself shouldn't be hot. Or it shouldn't be like hot, right? I don't know. People not knowing their wires are potted and lacquered. Any shielding on those wires, it hurts effect and be would need non-metallic and metal bowl. Yeah, because if there was a metal shield, it would melt because it would heat up. That's how it works. Induction uses electrical currents to heat up metal. So you can't have a metal shield because then it wouldn't heat up. So. Seen somebody, yeah, they use an induction to melt the lock, yeah. Okay, that's enough about Nozzlegate. I hope I got my opinions across. I hope I was able to justify my stance a bit. Again, I'm not a politician. I'm open to changing my opinion. If information comes to light where they actively were doing this to like mislead, and it's not just like something got lost in translation with marketing or something, yeah, it sucks. If they show a history of this where they keep doing shit like this, obviously my opinion will change. But I'm kind of hoping this is the marketing overpromised and the product under-delivered, and hopefully we can move on from this and get a good tool changer at the end of the day that does what people want it to do. So, hey, on the bright side, this just drove more people to focus more on tool changers, because this did what the index basically did, I think, did to tool changers what kind of Bamboo did with Core XY, where it kind of lit a fire under everyone's feet to try and innovate. And hey, we're getting better products out of it at the end of the day from multiple different companies. So there we go. I want to see more cool shit in this industry, and it would get me really peeved off if this basically drove a company out of the industry that was doing something cool, right? If this leads to like this kind of system getting abandoned, or like everyone jumping ship, it would. I don't want to see the innovation getting stifled. So ceramic, I could see working, but it would be brittle, wouldn't it? Tinfoil hat, Bamboo spread the inductive coil bit because they coated it on the H2C. I've never actually, is it inductive heating? I thought there is a heater on the Vortex nozzle. Like is it inductive heating? Okay, anyways, that's enough about Nozzlegate. Again, all I know about this is I was gone on vacation for 2 weeks, and every now and then I would check my phone and just see people complaining. And it's like, I'm trying to figure out, piece together what exactly is going on, what was promised, what wasn't delivered while traveling. So like before stream today, I just kind of quickly skimmed Reddit in a couple places just to kind of get a little bit up to date. But even then, I don't think I have all the information. So I'm just kind of going off of, Okay. Thin ceramic does not go well. Yeah. Okay. The right nozzle is inductive. Okay. Yeah, Bamboo just used black epoxy instead of clear. Yeah, so it's the same thing. It's the same coating, it's just instead of clear epoxy, they use black epoxy. So I think people think that it's insulated or something, because they just use black epoxy instead of clear epoxy. Personally, clear epoxy looks cooler. I want to see the wires. I want to see the chrome. They put in writing. They said it was a hardened nozzle, but there is no standard for a hardened nozzle in terms of rating. What they said was, the part that I understand got people thinking that the nozzles were like super duper hardened was that I believe there's a statement that they made in one of the marketing where they said this is like the last nozzle you'll ever, or you can print without worry. I think it was along those lines. You can print filled materials without worry, okay? Because the nozzle is hardened, okay? That statement is the problem. Because people saw that, they went, hey, the nozzles are hardened, and they assumed they'd be like tungsten carbide level of hardened, when in reality they're more of coated steel level of hardened. So they're still hardened, but the marketing hyped them up to a higher level of hardenedness, which they thought, and now it's not. So, yeah. Okay, that's enough of that. That's enough of that, because I think we're at the point where we're talking in circles. So they found that Prusa apparently tested them and found that PETG CF was fine after 5 kilograms. Yeah, I remember speaking with like Olaf or somebody, and I asked like, how is this with, this is like when I first visited them. So this was a version of the nozzle in beta or alpha levels. And they're like, yeah, we haven't noticed anywhere with like normal amounts of carbon fiber. Like when we've been doing testing, we haven't like tried to kill one on purpose, but it printed all the carbon fiber we threw at it fine. They didn't try to actively kill one, but they're like, yeah, we did. We've been printing everything on this and it was fine. So Ultra Glow, well, Ultra Glow destroys everything. I wouldn't even put Ultra Glow through my like Diamondback. Ultra Glow destroys everything. Apparently running only 100 of their, yeah, Ultra Glow destroys everything. Ultra Glow destroys everything. That shit is like, if you want to hone your nozzle to like 1 millimeter, you use Ultra Glow. That's like, oh no, my rubber gloves that I use for cleaning my pots and pans are not rated for VX environment. Oh no. Survival stuff. Yeah, I've seen people cut, yeah, cardboard. Okay, that's enough of that. Okay, moving on from Nozzlegate. I think we talked in circles there enough. TLDR, it is a big issue. They need to fix it, but for some people, it's a non-issue. Simple as that. For me, it doesn't really change my opinion, other than the fact that I'm peeved that people are, I'm peeved that they misled people in terms of it, but it doesn't actually affect how I would be using the system because I would not be printing abrasives on it to begin with. So yeah, for now, if you want to print abrasives, don't get index. If you don't care about that, index is probably fine. Okay, garage remodel. Hi, welcome to my garage. It's filled with knowledge. I don't have a Ferrari or a bookshelf out here. But what it is filled with is too much shit, okay? We have had roughly this setup in the garage for 3 or 4 years now. It's been a while. We've been out here in the garage for a while. Yeah, it'll be 4 years. 4 years since we started streaming in the garage. 4 years around now. Not much has changed. This shelf is relatively new. I built it when I was gonna put the Milo on it, and then the Pantheon ended up living on it, and even the Pantheon shakes it too much, even though it's bolted to the wall and it's got 4x4 legs. I have printers in here I don't use anymore, the VZBot and the Magneto X. I have a lot of dead room. I set up the garage in a way that I didn't end up using it. The original plan for my garage, so for those that don't know, this is a 1.5 car garage. So it is 15 feet wide. It's actually about 14.5 feet wide because now there's actual like insulation and drywall up. So it's 14.5 feet wide by approximately 20 feet long, okay? When I set up this garage, okay, originally it was all studs and open, so I insulated it all. I did drywall, I painted it, whatever. The original idea was this shelf was gonna be a wall, okay? So on the back of that shelf, I have a big heavy tarp hanging down and insulation. And the idea was on the other side of this would be my garage where I would put my lawnmower and like my other stuff, okay? Problem is, I ended up getting the Venture XL. I ended up getting the Carvera, a laser. I needed somewhere to do painting and sanding in the winter. I ended up taking over that side of the garage. So at this point, and then I built a shed in the backyard this year or last year so I can put stuff from that side of the garage into the shed. There's still stuff I keep in the garage, like my bikes, like my bike, my kid's bike, wife's bike, fishing stuff that we use over the summer. I actually keep in the front of the garage. The problem is, I ain't got room again. So one of the reasons I've had people ask me like, oh, have you used the Venture XL lady or the CNCs? No, I haven't, because to get at them, I have to move shit. And when I move shit, I don't have room to move them to and keep the garage door closed. So like, basically, long story short, we're gonna downscale and we're gonna remodel, okay? No, I'm not knocking down walls. I am going open concept though. So we are going open concept. So what is happening? So I'm using floorplancreator.net. So first things first, I sketched it all out on paper and a ruler, and I got a rough idea of what isn't moving. So what isn't moving? This shelf is staying here, okay? This shelf is staying here. I don't think it'll fit, but the Pantheon's moving to the floor somewhere. Because the Pantheon is approximately 29 inches tall, and I have 36 inches of clearance. So if I want to open the Pantheon lid, I can only open it to about there. So this isn't gonna live under here, but something will live under here. The VZ-Bot and the Magneto are going away. If you live in Southern Ontario and you want a VZ-Bot that does need a little bit of work, I think it's missing a Raspberry Pi. I think I stole the Pi out of it. And something with the belt alignment is off. But if you want to buy a VZ-Bot 300 by 300 by 400, as is, reach out to me. Same with the Magneto. Magneto should still work. I just haven't used it in like 2 years. So that, I also have an FL Sun, whatever that FL Sun Delta is, the big tall one, the S1, I think it is. Not the Pro one, like the first version of the S1. If you also live in Southern Ontario and you want one of those, reach out to me on Twitter or on Discord. Well, reasonable price. Reasonable price. So this shelf's gonna stay here. This guy's probably gonna keep living on the shelf, and then the index is gonna live on the shelf. So this is gonna go on the floor somewhere. This is gonna stay here. The index Trident is gonna live on here. This shelf is gonna come over to this wall. So here is what I've got planned out. Go 3D. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. So obviously the 2D printers are 3D printers. And also this window isn't a window. That's my electrical panel. My electrical panel is right here. I have this little piece of pegboard just kind of sitting in front of it, but it takes 2 seconds to pull off because it's just hanging on a nail. You have to have it accessible. You're technically not supposed to have anything in front of it by law, but so it is easily accessible. So what's gonna happen, the shelf that I have here, I have a bench right here, okay? Oh wow. Right now it's a mess because I have a bunch of stuff on it, okay? That bench that you see back there, it's got the computer on it and all that. That is gonna go bye-bye, okay? And I broke the camera. This shelf is gonna go right under here. So it sits below the box, so it's just gonna go out. So the workbench that was here is gonna go right here. So it's gonna sit underneath the electrical panel and just keep going out. And I'm hoping this is all to size. So if it goes well, we'll have this bench is this one right here. I'll be able to put a toolbox or something under it or use it for storage. This bench is gonna go right next to it and keep going down. Again, toolboxes and printers or whatever under it and on top of it. This shelf is gonna go right here. So this little bench you see here, this I can't change. I have a little shelf here, or a workbench that I have here. I can't change it. And I can't change it because I have a door. So what's gonna happen, mobile, no, not overhead, mobile. Yeah, so this bench right here, you can see the top of the FL Sun there. This bench I can't move because this door opens inward like this. It opens inward like this. So I could make this shorter. I might make this bench a little bit shorter so I could put the shelf over more. But this giant wall of printers is gonna move up against this wall, okay? So that is gonna move up against this wall. Right now, I just have a little like shelf right here with a bunch of just boxes and stuff on it. I'll have to get a little desk or something to put the computer on, because the plan is, instead of having this camera mounted on an arm, I want to put it on a mobile tripod. I want to get like one of those heavy duty, like get a heavy base so it doesn't fall over, but like vertical tripods. Like you've seen a couple other content creators make them. I want to make a vertical mobile camera station. So it'll have the camera, it'll have a monitor on it for like OBS. So that way, like I can actually, I look at the camera and because right now when you always see me looking off a bit, that's because I'm looking at my OBS. Chat is a little bit closer to the camera. So when I'm reading chat, I'm looking like this. OBS is like this. I tend to look at myself when I'm talking. That's just how I work. In the basement, this camera that I use has a flip up screen. So I end up looking at the camera, but I look at myself. So what I'm gonna do is just have like a mobile camera setup. So that way, the plan is we're gonna have 2 printers here, but this shelf, this bench, I'm gonna have a laser on it. I'm gonna have one of the CNCs, probably the Carvera on it. And then that way I can actually use them, because I don't use my laser or my CNC because it's a pain to get at them to set them up and everything. So by actually having stuff more accessible, I'm hoping to use it more. That is one of the biggest things I've noticed, the way I do content creation, is if I can just go at it, I go at it. But if I have to do something and then I can work on it, I just never end up getting to it. ADHD or whatever. So yeah, I'm wasting a lot of space too. Like underneath this shelf here, this bench, I have a bunch of stuff just stuffed under there that I never use. The original plan was to have like, I have a toolbox under there on one side, but I never get at it. All good? Okay, sorry, wife's heading to work. Milo's still working? It should. I haven't done anything with it. It should work. I just haven't done anything with it. But I'll probably end up using the Carvera more because I think the Carvera makes a bit more sense to what the kind of stuff I do. I gotta learn how to use it. Same with the laser. I have a Creality Falcon 2. It's like a 20-watt laser. Fun fact, the one I have that you guys saw me set up on stream is broken. Because I dropped something on it while moving it. I had it on the ground and then something fell off on it and it completely crushed the top in. It probably still works, but I don't need to use that one because Creality sent me 2. So I have a new one in box that we'll set up. And then this area up front here, I'm hoping there's enough room left over. It should, according to my math, because I think this is 4 feet, yeah. So this is my paint booth, I like to call it. So I'm gonna redo it because right now it's very shitty. You guys saw the stream where I built it, but my paint booth is kind of really shitty. So there's that. Now, you may notice, where's the Venture XL going? Well, the Venture XL has to live in the garage, okay? It has to. So the problem I have is, the Venture XL is 37 inches tall. This shelf is 37 inches tall in terms of clearance underneath. The Venture XL though is too long. It's like 37 inches long. So it would stick out from under a shelf. So I can't just stick the Venture XL under a shelf, like under this bench. Because it would stick out like half a foot. So the Venture XL is probably gonna live over here. Stove, sure. The Venture XL is a stove. 37 inches. There you go. So the Venture XL will probably end up living like, what I might do is just build a really small bench for the computer, and then the Venture XL will live in like that corner or something. This corner is a little bit weird because there's like a little bit of a bump out. The only problem is this corner right here is where my faucet is. Here in North America, most garages have water for a hose. So I have a garden hose hookup right there in this corner right here. I haven't used it in years because I don't want to run water in my garage with all the printers because they always tend to leak. So what I'm probably going to end up doing is getting some like PEX tubing and not move it, but make like a hookup so that I can hook it up at the front of my garage so it shouldn't ever leak over here. So if it does leak, it leaks at the front of the garage on the side that I'm keeping off camera. Because like I do have over here, where is it? Over on this side of the garage, I have my bunker freezer. So this door goes into my house. I have my bunker freezer here and my beer fridge, and then I have a shelf I built that just has garage stuff on it, like my power tools and whatnot. So what I might do is just run some PEX tubing from the outlet, just like screw it in and just run it along the wall. Because this door is actually up a bit. There's like a step, so there's like a 1 foot gap. So I could run PEX tubing just down the wall and then have a little hookup here to actually hook it up. So that way I can put something there and it's not like at risk of getting wet and I can still access the water. So there's that. Because I can't really move this stuff. This stuff can't move. This stuff can't move. I'll take care of it tonight. Yep. Water cool the Venture XL in? No. Want to be able to park in the garage? Yes, but not regularly. The idea is if I need to do brakes on my car or something, I can just pull the car in and I can actually fit a car in the garage if I needed to. I have no plans of parking in the garage regularly. I haven't done it in years. I don't really need to. But I do want to be able to, if I need to, put a car in the garage. So there's a car for scale. So it is still a little cramped, but at least it's like, hey, if I need to pull my car in the garage to do something, I can pull my car into the garage to do something. A wall-mounted computer rack. Well, that's the idea. The idea is put the Venture XL in the corner and then just have like a short, like I could just build one. Like here's the idea. The idea is the computer monitor will be mounted to this desk on an arm, just in the corner. And then another monitor will be mounted to a tripod that I can move around, and I'll just have cables running like in a braid or whatever. So that way I can move stuff around and move them out of the way if I need to. That's the idea. Also, I'm hoping by having enough room that when I have like my bikes out here, I could just like stick them in the corner and I could still get at everything. Because right now, like, yeah, this is a motorbike or whatever, but like I have 2 bikes in my garage. Right, I got my electric bike and then my kid's bike. So they're taking up this whole front section of the garage. So with the shelf being where it is now, where the shelf is like right here, and then the Venture XL is here. Where is it? The Venture XL is like here, and then I got bikes in front of it. I can't get out any of this shit. So I have to like constantly move stuff to get at stuff. So that's kind of the idea, is move some stuff around, try and get the middle area more open, get rid of a bunch of printers so we have more room to faff around with shit. Use the area a little bit better So I stop piling stuff up around me. That's kind of the problem. Also, if I have the whole back open, I can put more rep racks up in places for more filament storage. So yeah, a wall-mounted computer case. I mean, this computer isn't that big. It's a MATX computer. It doesn't need to be big. I could probably fit it on this when I move it over here. So we'll see. Where's the build desk? Wherever I need it to go. Because this is a toolbox. This is a toolbox on wheels that I just literally all it is. It's a Mastercraft Maximum 47-inch toolbox with like, I think it's 52 inch. Actually, it might be 47 inch. I think it's 47 inch. And then I just have a what's the company that makes the desks that go up and down? Anyways, I just have a tabletop on it that I screwed down to it. So this is on wheels. I can move this wherever. So yeah, so I'll be able to move around, do different setups. If I want to do something where I need more room, I can move stuff out of the way. The idea is I'm finding I'm not doing a lot of stuff out here because it's so freaking cramped. And there's like, every time I need to do something, I need to take something down. Like it's like I have the baby belt is sitting on my fridge right now. And like, I've got parts for the MOG over there. I got parts up there. I'm finding it's getting too crowded. FlexiSpot, that's what it is. This is a FlexiSpot desktop. It's getting too crowded for creative use, if that's a way. Good you don't live in Denmark. There is illegal to use the garage to put stuff in and not be in it. What do you mean put stuff in and not be in it? Like, turn into it like what I'm doing? This would be illegal. Why would this be illegal in Denmark? What? Tripod for the power. There's no reason. I have to run an HDMI cable to the computer anyway, so I'll just run an extension cord too. There's no reason to have a power brick on it because I still have to hook it up with a wire. Although there are wireless HDMI transmitters, which would be cool because then I could do it completely. They're not cheap. They are not cheap though, because it would be kind of cool to have a completely standalone wireless tripod setup. But yeah, as a room because of government reason. Well, okay, Beep Dog, are you talking about like here in Canada and North America in general? You can't have your house connected to, or your garage connected to your house without a vapor barrier. So like if you've noticed, if you have a detached garage to your house, that door closes automatically, okay? Because it has to. It has to close automatically and you need to have a vapor barrier. So the reason I have an air conditioner and a heater out here is because I can't run my AC system out here. Because if you were to park a car in your garage and leave it running, or it were to turn on overnight, it would flood your house with carbon monoxide and that would be bad. So yeah. So like this is an attached garage. So if you're wondering, from about here up to about here is connected to the house. So the common wall with the house goes from about here down to about here. And then my like front door is here and whatnot. In Germany, you have to use your garage for your car because of property taxes. I could see that. I could see that because if you're using it as a living space, it counts towards the overall square footage of your house. So when you do your property taxes, it determines the square footage of your house. So. If you're using other than garage car tasks. I could see it. I could see it because then it's considered a living space. And if it's a living space, it increases the square footage of your house. Because this is 290 square feet here. My house is technically 1,100 square feet. So this would make my house 1,400 square feet, which would increase my property taxes quite a bit. But I don't live out here. It's still a garage. I don't have a couch out here. It's still a garage for garage purposes. I can park a car in here. It's still a garage. So yeah, so that's kind of the idea. Basically, free up the garage so I have a little bit more room to do projects without having to constantly move shit around and play Jenga. Streamline a bit, get rid of stuff I don't use. I don't use these two printers. I don't use the Magneto. I don't use that. I don't use the FL Sun. If you live in Southern Ontario, and you're looking to acquire a 3D printer that you've seen on this channel that I still have, shoot me a DM. We'll work out something. The FL Sun, I'll do like 400 or 500 Canadian, if that. I'm willing. Same with the Magneto. We'll clearance these things. I'll get them out of here. So as is, they worked the last time I used them. The VZ Bot, you might have to do some work on it because I think I ripped the Raspberry Pi out of it. Yeah, I think I took the Raspberry Pi out of it. I stole it for something else. Same reason people don't finish the ceiling in the basement. Yeah, I know. True on the index, I bought a minimum of 4 nozzles in set until I plan on making my own nozzles eventually. It'd be interesting. Oh shoot, I missed one. I missed a big one. Who was that? Buck Wild! Gifted $20. Cheers and appreciate it. I'm probably not gonna be the only one who has thought about this, but it'd be nice if index nozzles were like Prusa original nozzles and they had an adapter. They can't do it because it's an inductive. There is a material and mechanical design constraint when it comes to the geometry of the nozzle that they have to work within. And that kind of limits to the reason it heats up so quick is because there's so little thermal mass because the nozzles are so thin. If you were to have enough meat there to have screwing and unscrewing elements, that would increase the mass of the nozzle quite considerably, which would require a much longer heat up time and then also cool down time. So it would take longer to heat up and it would ooze more when docked because it wouldn't be able to cool down as quick because there'd be more thermal mass. The way the index system is as quick and responsive as it is because there is barely any metal in the nozzles. They are minimum viable product. There is not a lot of meat there for a reason. So that SVO gate gantry, I want to keep that. I want to use it for a project still. So that's kind of the plan. And then I'm gonna have a shoe rack here. I have a shoe rack here, but I didn't model the shoe rack. So that's basically the idea. Maybe I'll paint something on the garage door because you'll probably see more of it. I gotta move my air compressor out. I'm hoping by moving this over here, I can move a lot of the stuff that I have kind of floating around, like my air compressor. The air conditioning still gonna have to sit over here because it needs to be hooked up to this door because I have a vent there. So the air conditioner is gonna stay over here, same with the heater. But it should be underneath that so I can actually get out the door if I need to and it not be a fire hazard. And it'll also give me a chance to clean out and throw away a bunch of shit. So what will $50 get me? I will sell you this limited edition Fabrico 1.3 millimeter driver. I might put some of these printers up on Facebook Marketplace. I'm going to be interested in going through all this. I owe you guys a channel member stream, so that might be like tomorrow's stream or something, where we go through and we find a bunch of shit that like I've kind of forgot about. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. Should be fun. Should be fun. When is the remodel going to start? Today. Tomorrow's garbage day, so I'm going to go through and throw out a bunch of shit tonight, and then just kind of go from there. I'm hoping, worst comes to worst, if I'm not able to stream because I got to tear down all the hookup, because right now like this camera's in a fixed position, the computer's in a fixed position, I got to put all that on tripods and move it. The next couple streams we should be able to do from the basement, working on the MOG and working on the baby belt, I should be able to do from the basement. So that's the other good thing. I have the basement studio set up pretty good, so I'll have room to just do streams from there while I do work out here. But basically, this bench going over there, this shelf coming over here, a bunch of stuff kind of being moved around. It shouldn't be that big of a deal. It's just kind of having to move stuff without the room to have it somewhere. So I got to take all the printers off this shelf, put them somewhere while I move the shelf. And I can't put them on this bench because I have to move the bench too. And also everything is bolted to the wall and bolted together. So I'm going to have to like figure out how to unscrew everything apart. That's gonna be fun. Also, I'm pretty sure when I built this shelf, this bench, I leveled it to the ground because it's a garage. So the garage slopes outward. So all the water runs out of your garage, right? So there's like a 3-inch drop from the back of the garage to the front of the garage. So I'm pretty sure I cut these legs to a length unevenly so that the desk would be flat, but it's flat this way. So when I move the desk this way, it's gonna be like tilting backwards and this way. So I'm gonna have to like either shorten the legs or shim the heck out of them, like an inch or two. That'll be fun. This one shouldn't be too bad because I already have shims under the two back legs. So if I turn it around and move it up against the wall, I'll just move the shims to the two front legs and then I'll just bolt that to the wall so it doesn't fall. Because right now this is just freestanding. This is just freestanding. It's not attached to anything. It's just the weight of everything is keeping it from moving. So print some shims. I did. This has been rocking ABS shims for freaking 3 to 4 years and nothing has moved. It's still perfectly flat. So ABS shims for the win. I printed them like fully solid. No rolling flake. No, this is a, I don't even know what brand of shelving unit, Husky, I think. It might be a Husky one. I don't remember. But yeah. Okay, we gotta do a giveaway. I gotta do a giveaway. We got 4 minutes, then we're gonna do the giveaway. So enter for a chance to win. We're gonna do the giveaway in 4 minutes. This is the rough layout. Everything is kind of subject to change because like, it just is. The plan is I'm gonna have the laser here. So the laser will be here. And then the CNC next to it, and then the the wet area. So we'll have to set up the laser again. That'll be fun. This, I don't know where this is gonna go. This is gonna go probably underneath this bench, but we'll see. Because it's gotta go on the floor. And I might put this underneath the Venture XL. But this printer is big, it's heavy. It's like 120 pounds of printer. And it takes up a lot of room. And so it's got to be on the floor somewhere because it is taking up way too much desk space and it shakes the whole desk. So we're going to have to put this somewhere at some point, but yeah. Record the process because I need, well, the plan is tomorrow or Thursday, we're going to do a channel member stream because I owe you guys one. So if you do want to hang out on that stream, either tomorrow or Thursday, it'll be a channel member stream. So if you're a channel member or Patreon supporter, or your Twitch supporter, link in the Discord will be up at some point tomorrow or Wednesday, and we'll probably just, you guys can laugh at me while I move shit. Also, I got to get rid of the A-net, so I got to smash the A-net up because it's all broken anyways. I gotta get rid of a bunch of printers. I got a bunch of printers. Like I have that, oh god, the Second Cube. I've stolen parts out of that printer, so it's not in a printable position, but I gotta get rid of that. I gotta get rid of a lot of stuff. I got so many printers that I just don't use. Like the V0s I'm not getting rid of. I might get rid of the solid fork. I don't know. Problem is it's weird selling printers that I've built because I don't want to sell it to somebody and then they have issues with it kind of thing. Like if that makes sense. Like I don't want to sell somebody a printer I built and then they'd be like, oh, this doesn't work. And it's like, well, it worked the last time I used it and I built it 2 years ago. So, Canuck Greater Garage Sale. I might put some stuff up on Facebook Marketplace too. We'll see. We'll see. 1 minute, we'll do the giveaway. Include the same way you're buying a kit car, Godspeed. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the other thing. Like I took apart a couple printers. The Ender got ripped apart. A couple other printers, a couple of old Bedflinger index machines I had got ripped down for parts. So. So we'll see. We'll see. Okay, let's do this giveaway. 1 second here, because I remember getting an email. I just realized I got an email from Polymaker. I think they changed how they do their giveaway, so I gotta check this. Quick update is officially running. If you've been holding on to any prints that have made everybody 3 minutes, request your reference code. I think this is the same one. Yeah, So if, okay, yeah, they just updated their, oh shoot, so this is the link now, giveaways. Okay, so that's pretty much the same thing. Okay, so it doesn't really change on my end. Yeah, you won't, it changes on my end, you won't see any difference if you win. And for the record, for those wondering, because they just resent it here, if you do win and you're in USA, Canada, UK, Germany, France, Spain, Poland, or Czechia, you receive a $35 gift card. So we say it's a spool of filament, it's actually a $35 gift card. Anywhere else though, I believe it's just a spool of filament because of the increased shipping costs. So I think that's that. Okay, so I should be good there. Let's do this giveaway. If you did not enter, you'll have another chance on Friday. So, published, accepting responses, save. Copy that. Okay. So hopefully everything works. It's been a while. And then Friday, we are going to be continuing with the Unimog. We got to go back. I got the parts printed that I was missing, and we'll go back to that. Canuck tech support for $200. I'm kind of tempted to do a challenge myself, and try and do a booth at, because they do like a monthly stroll the street type vendor event in the little town next to me. And it's like, I kind of want to do one of those as like a video where it's like trying to sell 3D printing stuff that isn't your typical flexi landfill prints and see how that goes. Like, you know how I did the Deku tree? Make a bunch of planters, make a bunch of concrete planters using 3D printing, maybe mold some stuff, make some molds out of 3D print and fill it with concrete or whatever. Do like a laser art thing like we saw on like do a couple pieces of like actual artwork that involve actual work instead of just hitting file print, and then seeing how that goes at a show. See if you can make more money with 3D printed things than just 3D printed things, if that makes sense. We're waiting for Marbles to launch because it had to update. There is some art. What the heck? Oh, that's a tube. Oh shoot, okay. Oh no, you opened on the wrong window. Oh no! No, not this window. No, not that window. No, I need you. How do you move windows? It opened on the wrong window. Alt, that. No, I want... How do I move window? I can't see chat. Gear. Video. Full screen, monitor 2. Apply. Back. No. Why'd you open on the wrong window? 1 second here. It opened on the wrong window. It opened on that window. So it like, no, quit opening on that window. Why are you doing this? Gear. Oh, it's on window 2, window 1. Yes, apply. There we go, confirm. Okay, oh my God. Okay, close. Marbles on scene, come on. Shift win arrow. Okay, there we go. We're good. Okay. There we go. Continue. Race. Bump. Add names. Clear. Open. Names. Ron. Shoot. So 159. Okay, random. Bots. 159. Randomize. Let's do that one. Oh yeah, other thing that I needed to announce, and I hinted at this at the beginning. This will probably be the last year I do full-time YouTube. The way things are going with the channel, it peaked 2 years ago, and it's been either coasting or negative since then. It is what it is. Modifying 3D printers and building 3D printers was never going to be a long-term career thing on the channel. You're still going to see content. It's not like I'm stopping. I still need to pay my bills, so obviously that. But I am actually actively looking for a full-time job in the near future. So you won't see me scale back completely. The channel will still exist. I love doing this shit. It's just the income's not there anymore. So it was a fun couple years of doing full-time YouTube. It worked out really good for supporting my son because we needed a parent at home while he was going through some stuff. That's mostly been sorted out now. So now we don't need a parent at home all the time anymore. So basically the plan is to just not go back to quite what it was when I was still working full-time at the shop, because I hated that job and I was not in a good place. But basically it'll just be maybe 2-3 streams a week instead of 3 streams a week. 1 or 2 streams instead of 3 streams a week. But that's not anytime soon. I still got to find a job. So it is what it is. So you may see it scale back a bit, but you won't see it go away. It's not like the channel's, you know, goodbye. No. But you might see at a certain point between now and the end of the year, stuff kind of just scale back a little bit in terms of how regular the streams are. Simple as that. Simple as that. So not going away. I'm not announcing my graduation. I'm not a VTuber, but just letting you guys know that that is a change that will be happening in the next, I don't know. In this economy, who knows? But you know what I mean. So, because every content creator that does 3D printing stuff has noticed a downturn, and especially in my little niche here, it affects creators like me quite a bit. So, I have tried a couple times to grow the channel in the past couple years doing things, and nothing has really caught on. And I don't want to move over to the kind of content that does sell because I don't enjoy doing it. So it is what it is. Not quitting demos out? No. And not early retirement. No, I do not. I cannot afford retirement. YouTube, that's the other problem. YouTube doesn't have any sort of 401k RSP retirement plan at all. So that's like been the other problem. It's been okay. I had savings before going into this, but it's like, there isn't the money for retirement coming in. So, COVID growth. Yep, that's the other thing too. I stream, and ever since COVID ended, streaming has been on the downturn because people aren't sitting at home anymore. How this works is if you win, you get a spool of filament from Polymaker. But if this ball right here wins, Ballant V, if you win, you get a free hat from the merch store. Good luck. At least the house is clear now. Yeah, that was kind of the goal. So, I mean, I'll be honest, I'm not looking for a crazy job. I'm trying to find a government job. My brother got a government job and he's loving it. It would nice to find something that's just like steady days, low stress, and that way I can still do the streams regularly. It's just trying to do YouTube full time in my little niche here is just not viable anymore, unfortunately. So, is what it is. Is what it is. They say the average content creator, the average YouTube channel has about a 5-year lifespan once it actually starts gaining ground. The fact that we've made it to that, I'm pretty proud of. And it's thanks to a community like you guys and gals. You know, statistically, it is a sausage fest here, but thank you. 3D's nuts. So yeah, that's one of the other reasons for getting the garage kind of cleared up, and is just so it's less crowded. I've been trying to find something in the industry, in the additive manufacturing industry that's local, but there is nothing. It is so disappointing that it's like, I live in a town with lots of mold making and the tool and mold industry, but when it comes to additive manufacturing, there's like nothing. There is nothing around me, and it's really not great. Oh, this is gonna be tight. This is gonna be tight. So if I miss something and somebody knows of any additive manufacturing companies in Southern Ontario, let me know. I'm really interested. I know there's like Polar Filaments is nearby, but they're in Detroit. Oh, who's our winner? 3dPrint. 3dPrint is our winner. East or west of Vancouver. Yeah, and you don't want to go up to Toronto. So 3dPrint 46 is our winner. Where are you? There we go. Did I spell that right? Yeah. Wait, 2. Oh no, there you are. Okay. Copy. There we go. Sprint. I haven't seen. I completely forgot there's a new Spider-Man movie. I haven't had a chance to really. On vacation, right? There you go. There's an automotive 3D print shops in Detroit. Yeah, there's a bit in Detroit, but I am not crossing the border for work. We got the new bridge finally. Is open. Huzzah! So we got that for us, which is nice. But little guy's making noise inside, so I'm gonna have to end it. Okay, so we are gonna end it there. I'm gonna try and sneak in a member stream because I owe you the channel members, channel supporters, a member stream because I missed out. Obviously, I was on vacation last month. So that will either be tomorrow or Thursday. And then we'll hang out, and hopefully the next time we're in the garage, some stuff has moved around. If not, it'll be in the process of moving stuff around. So if we're streaming from the basement in the near future, that's why. That is why. So shout out to Polymaker for the spool filament we gave away this stream and every stream. Links for all of them and more in the video description below. Check out the affiliate links. It costs you nothing. It helps support the channel. Some of them you even save money on. Just make sure you use code Canuck, like the Polymaker one. Gamer subs too. Go get some gamer subs if you're thirsty. Good stuff. And then also for those that donate to the channel, gifted memberships to others, or became members of the channel yourself, I thank you. Would not be able to do the things I do, create the content I create without your continued support. You make it all possible. And for those that submitted stuff on the Discord for the Look What I Printed stream, keep doing that. It's great stuff to see what people are working on, share what you're working on, share, get inspired from other people's ideas and whatnot. Hi, Jeff. You show up as I'm ending the stream. Everyone say hi to Jeff. You all know who Jeff is, Jeff Deerling. Okay, call it there. And no, from the friendly comments, I cannot dig. I've already spoken to Colin about it. My water table is too high. I cannot just dig out my garage and make a bunker for more room. It is too clayey here. The ground is all clay and it's way too waterlogged. The water table is too high. I would have to do all kinds of stuff. I'm not doing that. Anyways, y'all take care. Enjoy the rest of your week. Be safe out there. Wash your hands. And I will see you all in the future. Good night.